My beloved child, everything around you may feel like it's in chaos, but I need you to understand this: what's coming is not chaos. It's the rearrangement of heaven's divine strategy for your life. There is an unseen war over your next step, and I'm intervening tonight because tomorrow is not ordinary, it is marked in heaven. Your future is standing at your doorstep, knocking with power you've never encountered. You cannot afford to doubt now. You cannot afford to entertain distractions or feed your fears. The enemy knows what's scheduled, and that's why the pressure increased this week. That's why everything started to feel heavier. But listen to me, tonight is your wake-up call. If you sleep on this moment, if you delay obedience now, you risk stepping into tomorrow with blindfolds on. I have given you signs, and you felt the urgency in your spirit. You've even said, "Something's about to happen," without knowing how accurate you were. Yes, something is about to break, but it is not to harm you, it is to birth you into a level of calling and authority that only I could authorize. This moment has been prepared since the foundation of the world. Everything you've walked through, every storm, every betrayal, every late night crying into your pillow, every time you felt forgotten, was all pointing to this pivot. My hand is on the lever, and I'm about to shift your entire reality. Heaven is moving with speed. I'm aligning opportunities that were previously blocked. I'm opening what you didn't even know to ask for. But I must have your attention now, child. I need you to remove every voice that causes doubt, every influence that sows hesitation. There is a divine urgency echoing in the spirit realm, and it's calling your name. Angels are stationed around you, waiting for your obedience, waiting for your yes. Tomorrow cannot be met with confusion. You must walk into it with full awareness that you're being launched, not simply transitioned. This is not a minor change, it's a divine collision between your preparation and my perfect timing. I want you to sleep tonight with faith, not fear. I want you to prepare with expectation, not anxiety. I want your spirit ready to say yes to everything I bring before you. You are not waiting on the miracle is waiting on you to show up and recognize it. My glory is attached to this next moment. Heaven will bear witness. Hell will tremble. Earth will have no explanation. This is that moment, child, the one that will be talked about for years. The moment your story changes. The moment everything aligns. The moment the plans of the enemy are reversed and my will take center stage. I am not requesting you to be ready, I am declaring it. Wake up your faith. Stir your spirit. Prepare your house. Guard your mind. Seal this hour in worship. And remember this: I never warn without a reason, and I never send urgency without transformation attached. So heed this cry, my child. Tomorrow will be historic, and you will not walk into it unaware. You are about to witness what happens when heaven interrupts the calendar of man. Get ready. You're about to walk into something that no one, not even you, could have predicted. There has been a stirring in your spirit that words could not explain, and it was not your imagination, it was my spirit signaling a divine countdown. Every time you felt a holy tension in the air, every time you looked around and noticed things were being unsettled, it was not for your destruction, it was a sacred signal. The world around you is shifting in unseen dimensions, and while others sleep unaware, I have kept your soul alert because I need you positioned properly. The first light of dawn will not just signal a new day, it will carry a divine instruction coded for your name. Something hidden will become visible. Something that was delayed will be released without resistance. What you've been sensing is not coincidence, it's confirmation. And now I speak to you as the one who authored tomorrow. It is not just the beginning of another date on the calendar, it is the appointed time for the fulfillment of a hidden promise you almost forgot. That ache in your heart, the one that grew louder in the silence, has always been connected to what I am about to unveil. I know you thought I was distant, but I have been standing behind the veil of timing, holding the fullness of your answer until your heart was mature enough to handle the weight of what I've prepared. I need you to rise tomorrow, not with routine, but with spiritual fire. Greet the morning with authority, not anxiety. Stand up and speak what I place in your mouth. Declare what you've only dared to whisper. What starts at sunrise will not be a trickle. It will be a flood of divine moments, each one marked with my fingerprint. Some things will seem coincidental to the natural eye, but to your spirit, they will scream with confirmation. Be sensitive, child. I am giving you a fresh lens to see what others cannot recognize. I am placing divine understanding in your thoughts so you don't miss the signals I send. There will be a conversation, an encounter, a word released that seems small, but it will unlock something massive. You will not know it by sight. You will discern it by my spirit. This is why you must not allow distractions to speak louder than my voice. Turn down the noise. Shut out what is irrelevant. Guard your ears as gates and your thoughts as holy ground. What's coming will require purity of focus. You have never walked this road before, but I have gone before you to clear it. What you step into will not resemble anything from your past, and that's why I had to isolate you for a time. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. I needed to break every attachment to the old mindset that would sabotage what's being released. I removed voices that brought confusion, and now I am surrounding you with clarity, strategy, and alignment. I am moving in ways that will appear subtle at first, but do not underestimate what begins in smallness. Seeds carry nations within them, and the seed I plant in your tomorrow will grow into something that shifts the legacy of your entire family. You will carry a mantle you didn't expect, but it fits you perfectly because I tailored it in the secret place. And when others ask why things suddenly began moving in your life, you will not say it was your strength or your connections. You will say, "The Lord gave me a word, and He performed it." For this moment is not about recognition. It is about obedience. I do not need your perfection. I need your surrender. Joab. Say yes. Obey instantly, and I will take care of the rest. The heavens are watching. The earth is waiting. Hell is panicking. You, my child, are standing at the edge of everything I spoke over you before time began. When that first light breaks the darkness tomorrow, let it remind you, this is not just a new day, it's the beginning of a divine unveiling you were born to walk in. Your hidden cries have not been lost in the silence. I have been gathering every tear like sacred rainfall, storing them in my chambers of justice, waiting for the appointed hour to pour out my answer. I saw you when you collapsed in the corner, too weary to speak, yet your soul groaned with desperation. I watched when others overlooked your pain, when even your own voice was too hoarse to pray aloud, but your spirit still reached for me in the shadows. Heaven did not miss it. I was not distracted. I was leaning in. And now, I do not come with a whisper, I come with a roar. What once seemed ignored will now be responded to with a power that will shake the foundations of everything that tried to mock your hope. The time for silent suffering ends tonight. You have endured the night of unanswered questions, but dawn will not be quiet. I am about to interrupt your ordinary with a demonstration of glory that even your enemies cannot deny. You don't have to convince anyone anymore. You don't have to defend your faith or explain your endurance. What I do in the next hours will speak so loudly through your life that no one will be able to explain it away. I am answering in such a way that generations after you will talk about how I showed up and rewrote your story. This is not compensation, it is vindication. What was taken from you, I now return in ways far greater than what was lost. What was delayed will now be delivered in multiplied form. You're not just receiving what you asked for, you're receiving what I intended, which is always bigger. The enemy tried to convince you that I had gone quiet. He pointed to the silence as evidence of abandonment. But what he did not know is that I speak loudest through divine setups. While he thought you were being ignored, you were actually being positioned. You were being wrapped in unseen preparation. You were being trained in humility so that when I lifted you, pride would find no room to hide. This is why your answer had to wait, not because it was denied, but because the soil wasn't yet ready to hold the weight of the seed I'm about to plant. Now, the soil has been tilled by your tears, and the atmosphere is pregnant with the supernatural. When the sound comes tomorrow, and it will come suddenly, it will echo through every dry space of your past, waking up promises you buried long ago. You will not just see the answer. You will carry it with boldness. You will no longer be the one praying in secret. I am giving you a platform of testimony. Your voice will be used as a trumpet, announcing that I still answer, I still deliver, I still break chains in a moment. You didn't go through all of it for nothing. The weight you carried has turned into the authority you will now walk in. You prayed when it cost you everything, and now you will witness the harvest that only comes from that kind of costly faith. I am answering not just because you asked, but because you trusted me when it didn't make sense. Your faith was not perfect, but it was real. You gave me your last, and now I'm about to fill your cup until it overflows into every area you thought was barren. The thunder you hear tomorrow will not be of destruction, it will be the sound of justice breaking open in your favor. It will be the voice of heaven declaring, "This one belongs to me." And every power that tried to silence your hope will tremble. So brace yourself, not in fear but in awe, because the answer you almost gave up on is about to arrive with force, and it will not be quiet. It will not be small. It will not be hidden. It will be loud, and it will be undeniable, because I always remember the prayers of the faithful, especially the ones whispered in the dark, the stretch of silence, the delay that felt like punishment, the long nights of wondering if I had forgotten you. None of it was wasted. I was using time as a tool, not a torment. What you thought was postponement was actually the deep work of preparation. I was cultivating strength where you thought weakness had settled. I was fortifying your foundation while it seemed like nothing was happening. But now, child, I am lifting the veil. The hidden work is over. The curtain is rising. The backstage refining is giving way to the public unfolding of what I've been shaping in secret. This is not a rehearsal. It's time for the unveiling. The eyes that overlooked you before will now witness what obedience births. The ones who discounted your potential will see the weight of my favor unfold upon your life. I have watched you endure with dignity, though everything inside you wanted to scream. I've seen you smile through the pain, walk with grace through betrayal, choose peace in the middle of provocation. That was not unnoticed, it was your oil being crushed for this very moment. And now, because you did not faint when it would have been easy to walk away, I am bringing the fullness of my promise into plain view. You won't have to fight for recognition, I am the one announcing you. You won't need to knock down doors, I am opening what no man can shut. You won't need to chase visibility, I am shining light on what you faithfully built in the dark. This revealing will not come with striving, it will come with stillness. Because I have already orchestrated it, and all I require from you is to step into it without hesitation. The old version of you wouldn't have survived what I'm releasing, but the version that was born in the waiting has been made ready. Every lesson carved into you during those months of quiet has become the framework that will now sustain the weight of what's being placed on your shoulders. What seemed like delay was me insulating you from counterfeit blessings, protecting you from distractions, guarding you from connections that would have polluted your promise. Now that the season of hiddenness has done its work, I am ready to put my glory on display through you. But hear me carefully, this revealing is not just for celebration, it is for demonstration. I am not lifting you up to show off your strength, I am lifting you to show the world what I can do through surrendered weakness. They will see the glow on your face and ask what changed, and you will answer, I stopped rushing and let God finish writing the story. Because you waited without manipulating, I will now move without limitation. I am sending divine appointments, strategic alignments, sudden resources, supernatural confirmations. Not scatter, not piecemeal, all at once. The floodgates are not cracking open, they are bursting. But I have not forgotten the integrity of your heart. I remember how you refused shortcuts. I saw how you walked away from what glittered because you wanted what was truly gold. That's why I trust you with this next part. This revealing is not to inflate your ego, it's to glorify my name through your obedience. So walk forward with assurance, not arrogance. Move with confidence, not control. Let me finish what I started, and do not try to manage what is meant to be miraculous. I am not just revealing you to others, I am revealing a deeper version of myself to you. You're about to encounter me in ways your previous self could never handle. This is not the end of the journey, it's the launching point for a new dimension of purpose. You've seen me as a provider, but now you will know me as the revealer of destiny. And the unveiling will not be partial, it will be full. You are no longer in hiding. I am calling you forth, and nothing, no doubt, no fear, no opposition will be able to reverse what I've decided to make visible in your life. There have been places you longed to enter, spaces you knew your spirit was drawn to, but every time you knocked, the silence that followed felt like rejection. You questioned if you misheard me. You wondered if your name had been erased from the scroll of promise. But what you saw as denial was actually divine timing protecting you from premature access. I didn't allow man to open those doors because I never intended for your next chapter to be written by human permission. It had to be my doing, pure, untainted, and irrefutable. Those doors were never too strong for me to open. I simply waited for the exact moment when my glory would shine brighter than your effort. You thought those gatekeepers held power, but they were simply placeholders, unaware that heaven had already overridden their control. And now, I am stepping in not subtly, but with authority, and when I stretch my hand toward those barriers, they will crumble, not because of your strength, but because of who sent you. You will walk through what once resisted you, and this time no one will stop you. You don't need to charm, convince, or perform. I am bypassing politics, skipping protocols, and releasing permission directly from my throne. What they locked with pride, I am unlocking with power. What was labeled inaccessible will become your inheritance, not rented but owned, not borrowed but built for your name. The walls built to keep you out will testify that nothing can stand when I say enter. My child, I need you to walk boldly, not arrogantly, but boldly. Don't hesitate at the threshold. Don't second guess when the door swings wide. Don't wonder if it's real. You've been prepared for this. I've been molding your heart, your discernment, your humility, because the room on the other side of this opening isn't just a place of opportunity, it's a place of assignment. I'm not placing you in rooms to be admired, I'm sending you in to disrupt systems, to carry light into corners they forgot light existed. Your presence will shift atmospheres, not because of who you are, but because of who is walking in with you. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. You were never meant to blend. You were meant to illuminate. These openings are not random, they are strategic. They are orchestrated entrances for maximum kingdom impact. And while some may look at you and wonder how you got in, they'll miss the truth. It was never about credentials, it was about covenant. I made a covenant with your destiny, and what I open, no man can close. There is no committee that can revoke your access, no slander that can shut the gate, no delay tactic that can override my decree. I hold the master key, and I am turning it now. Some of these doors have your name engraved on them in invisible ink only revealed by my fire. And now that the fire has touched you, the name is visible, and the door must respond. But as I open these realms, do not forget who brought you here. Stay close. Stay surrendered. Stay dependent on me. Because where I'm sending you, your old methods won't work. Your old logic will fail. Only my voice will carry you through. Listen carefully. I will guide you through each corridor, each conversation, each opportunity. Do not try to figure it all out. Obey the promptings of my spirit, and I will show you what to say, where to step, and who to trust. The same hand that breaks open the entrance will shield you from hidden snares. I have not brought you this far to watch you fall. I open, I lead, I sustain. Walk through this divine opening, not with hesitation, but with holy expectation. You are not intruding, you are arriving exactly where you were always meant to be. And the doors that once mocked your prayers, they will now serve as monuments of what happens when God decides, let them in. They spoke with certainty, but they never consulted me. They assessed your future using flawed vision, filtering their conclusions through their own limitations. They labeled you based on your past, never realizing I had already rewritten your ending. They scoffed at your process, mocked your pace, and made assumptions about your silence. But what they failed to understand is that silence is not absence, it is often the setting of a sacred work. While they pointed fingers, I was placing foundations. While they whispered behind closed doors, I was opening windows of heaven. They only saw the surface. I was shaping depth. Now, I speak as the one who saw it all, and I tell you this: their words will fall, but my plan will rise. I will elevate you in such a way that no argument can stand against it. This is not revenge, this is revelation. I am revealing who you are, and in doing so, I will expose every lie spoken about you. Not with drama, not with spectacle, but with undeniable fruit. They will see your transformation and tremble, not because you boast, but because I back you. They will be confused by your peace, startled by your clarity, and unable to explain how everything changed so suddenly in your favor. You will not need to explain yourself. I will make your life speak for you. I will turn their doubts into doorways for them to witness my glory. They will ask questions, but not to mock you this time, to understand. They will wonder how the same person they dismissed became the very one walking in my favor. And you will point them to me not with bitterness but with boldness. You will not speak from wounds, but from wisdom, because I am healing you so deeply that their betrayal won't even sting anymore. What once broke you will now bless others through you. What once made you feel like an outsider will now mark you as uniquely chosen. You were not meant to fit their mold, I created you to break it. Their discomfort with your anointing was never your problem to fix. I called you, and that is enough. They mistook your humility for insignificance. They mistook your hidden season for disqualification. But now they will witness how I raise up those who lean on me and not on applause. I use the underestimated to reveal my strength. I take the ones others discard and place crowns on their heads. Not because they are better, but because they remained faithful when there was no stage, no audience, and no guarantee. Your journey was never about them, it was about me shaping something unshakable in you. And now, I am unveiling it. You will stand before the very ones who doubted you, not in pride, but in purpose. And they will see that you were never behind, you were just being built. I will silence their scoffy with substance. I will shut down the whispers with wonders. I will overshadow every false narrative with undeniable evidence. Not just miracles around you, but transformation within you. Your responses, your character, your walk, all of it will testify. And those who were watching to see you fail will be the first to witness you rise. You will not rise in arrogance, you will rise in assignment. Because you don't just carry answers, you carry the atmosphere of the one who sent you. And your presence will unsettle what is counterfeit. Not because you're loud, but because you're anointed. So stand tall, not to prove anything, but because you were made for this. You were formed for this. You were chosen for this. And nothing they spoke can cancel what I've written. Let them talk, because I'm about to make sure your story talks louder. This is not payback. This is prophecy fulfilled. And no voice raised against you will have the final word. I will. You have been walking with weight tied to your soul, dragging yourself forward with unseen chains wrapped tightly around your thoughts. I watched as you tried to pretend it was manageable, carrying anxiety like it was part of your assignment, but I never gave you that burden. It was never your job to hold up the world. It was never my will for you to feel responsible for outcomes I alone control. You took on responsibilities that weren't yours out of love, out of fear, out of survival, but not out of my instruction. And now I am reaching into that invisible place where your heart clenches tight at night, where your breath shortens for no reason, where your spirit trembles beneath the surface. I am not sending relief, I am becoming it. You are about to feel a shift in your spirit, not because everything outside of you changes instantly, but because what's been crushing you on the inside will no longer have permission to stay. I have watched you overthink until your mind raced with noise. I've seen you blame yourself for things that weren't your fault, and I've heard every silent cry that never escaped your lips. I have not ignored it. I have been waiting for this moment, this sacred second, when I break the yoke that man couldn't see, when I free you from the emotional residue of burdens I never gave you to bear. You weren't made to carry everyone's expectations. You weren't created to hold guilt that I already nailed to the cross. That crushing pressure you feel in your chest is not a sign that you're failing, it's a signal that something needs to be released. And I am not asking you to drop it, I'm telling you I'm taking it. You don't need to understand how it will work. You don't need a plan for how to fix what feels broken. You simply need to let go of what was never yours to hold in the first place. I'm replacing the weight of fear with the wings of peace. I'm removing the layers of worry that have kept you from resting. You have been living in survival mode, bracing for impact, expecting things to fall apart, but I am interrupting that mindset with my presence. And where my presence is, torment cannot remain. I am coming for the tightness in your soul, the pressure in your thoughts, the fatigue that has nothing to do with sleep. I am lifting what you couldn't name, what you didn't have words for, what you normalized because you thought there was no other way. But I am the other way. I am the escape route you didn't see. I am the breath returning to your lungs, the calm invading your chaos, the exhale you've been waiting for. You don't have to earn this release, you just have to receive it. The healing I'm bringing won't be a temporary bandage. It will be a complete restructuring of how you carry your days. No longer will you walk hunched beneath emotional exhaustion. I am infusing you with strength that does not come from striving. I am placing stillness where panic used to thrive. And when you wake tomorrow, you will know something lifted. It will feel lighter, not because the world changed it, but because you did. You will breathe differently. You will think with clarity. You will speak without hesitation. The weight that clouded your clarity will be gone, and in its place will be me, unshakable, immovable, sustaining. You have carried long enough. Now I carry you. And not just for a moment, but through this entire next chapter. So rest, child. Not just physically, but deeply, spiritually. For I am doing what no one else could. I'm removing what you didn't even know was breaking you. I'm healing the cracks beneath your surface. I'm restoring joy where sorrow sat too long. And I am declaring this burden ends tonight. The fog that's lingered over your thoughts, the endless swirl of questions that made even small decisions feel overwhelming, that storm is breaking. I have seen how you tried to move forward but second-guessed every step, how your thoughts ran in circles, always returning to doubt. That was not my voice, that was the chaos the enemy planted, hoping to keep you stagnant, hoping you'd mistake confusion for my silence. But I was never far. I was simply allowing you to see the contrast so you'd recognize my clarity when it arrived. And now it has. This is not just a little understanding. I am pouring out divine insight like a flood, cutting through the fog that's weighed on you for too long. Your mind will no longer be a battlefield. I am untangling the knots of mental exhaustion. I am quieting the voices that pulled you in conflicting directions. You will no longer start and stop, commit then retract, believe then doubt. That cycle is over. I am bringing your thoughts into order, not by force, but by the peace that comes when my spirit speaks louder than your fear. You don't need to analyze every path. I will illuminate the right one. You don't need all the answers before you act. I will meet you the moment you obey. I am going ahead of you, not to wait at the finish line, but to guide you every inch of the way. You've prayed for direction. You've begged for a sign. Now I am not just giving you a sign, I'm becoming your compass. You won't have to wonder anymore. You won't keep asking, is this it? I will make it plain. You will wake up with understanding. You will speak with authority. And when choices appear, you won't be paralyzed, you will move, because you will recognize my fingerprints all over the path I carved. I'm giving you vision, not just for the next step, but for how each step aligns with the greater picture. This clarity will not fade with emotion. It will remain, because it's anchored in me. I'm even restoring the confidence you lost when people made you doubt your own discernment. Their confusion became your confusion, but I am reclaiming your inner certainty. I'm reminding you how to trust what I've placed inside of you. No more hesitation. No more starting from scratch. No more questioning your value every time a decision appears. I am placing stillness within you, not passive stillness, but the kind that stands firm and unshaken in the middle of pressure. You will walk forward with steady resolve. Your spirit will not flinch when things don't go as planned, because you'll understand the path is still in my hands. I will show you how even delays serve your direction. I will teach you to discern what is sent by me and what is simply noise. Not every good thing is a God thing, and now you will know the difference not with stress, but with spiritual sight. This clarity I give is not just for you. It will flow through you to others. You will become a voice of direction to those around you. They will sense peace just by hearing your words. Not because you figured it all out, but because you trusted me to lead. And I don't lead into confusion, I lead into purpose. So when clarity settles on you like the morning dew, don't be surprised. You waited for it. You've prayed for it. And now you're walking into it. The tension that once tightened in your chest will be replaced with a knowing. The uncertainty that clouded your vision will dissolve in the light of my guidance. I am not distant, I am directing. I'm highlighting. What's next will not require you to force it. It will flow. Because when I lead with peace. And peace is coming like a river. Let it wash away every last piece of confusion you carried. Let it clear the path, not just ahead of you but within you. The tears you've cried, circling the same sorrow, mourning the same disappointments, revisiting the same wounds, they have reached their end. You are not being asked to forget what happened, but I am removing the sting that kept reopening old grief. You have been living in a cycle of reliving, re-asking, rebleeding, hoping for closure in places that were never meant to define your forever. I have seen the nights you collapsed under the weight of what felt like repetition, heartbreak repeating itself in different names, different forms, but always finding its way back to you. But child, hear me now. You are not entering another loop, you are exiting the cycle completely. What comes next does not mirror what had been. This is the crossing over. This is the shift from sorrow to strength. You are not stuck. That feeling of being tethered to yesterday is being broken even now as my words reach you. I have come to announce that those old patterns, that deep ache, those unhealed fragments, they do not own you anymore. I am sealing what was left open. I am closing chapters you didn't have the strength to finish. Not by forcing you to forget, but by giving you something so new, so whole, so bursting with my presence, that your heart won't be able to look back without realizing how far I've brought you. You have outgrown what wounded you. You have outlived what tried to break you. And though it left marks, those marks are now becoming testimonies not of pain, but of perseverance. You will not cry over them again, not because you are hard, but because you are healed. I am not recycling yesterday's grief into tomorrow's lesson. I am writing a completely different story. One with laughter that's not laced with pain. One with joy that's not borrowed but rooted. One with freedom that doesn't feel foreign but fits you like a second skin. You are stepping into this hour, and it carries none of the residue from before. You don't need to brace for loss anymore. You don't need to prepare for disappointment like it's inevitable. That defensive posture you adopted to protect your heart is no longer needed. I am your shield now. I am retraining your spirit to expect goodness again, not in naivety, but in faith. Because when I say it's a new hour, I don't mean slightly different, I mean divinely reset. This is not a continuation of pain dressed as change. This is the birth of something that could only be formed through your endurance. Every sob you wept in silence was heard. Every why you whispered was gathered. I didn't ignore your questions, I stored them for this very response. And my answer is not just in words, it's in what I'm about to manifest. New relationships that will require performance. New environments where your voice won't be stifled. New thoughts that don't spiral into despair. Even your dreams will shift because I'm restoring what hopelessness tried to steal. What you feared would haunt you forever will be silenced by what I do next. I am making you whole from the inside out, not patched, not distracted, truly whole. And when the enemy tries to remind you of the tears you once cried, you will smile, not with denial, but with gratitude. Because you will see how even those tears watered the very ground your new life is growing from. You cried, Yes, but you also kept walking. You felt it all, but you never quit. And that, child, is why this moment belongs to you. Not because you never broke down, but because you never broke away from me. So step into this hour knowing the grief has lifted. You are not its prisoner anymore. You don't owe the past another piece of your peace. Tomorrow will not look like yesterday, because you are no longer the same. You are stepping forward unburdened. You are stepping forward new. And you will not cry over what I've already healed. You will dance on ground where sorrow once stood. You've come to the edge of something you've never seen, and the uncertainty feels like standing at the mouth of an ocean with no map, no compass, and no clear promise of where the tide will carry you. But I want you to understand this place of unfamiliarity is not dangerous when my presence is the guide. You've been conditioned to think that what's unknown must also be unsafe, but that is a lie rooted in fear, not faith. I do not lead you into confusion. I lead you into places your comfort zone could never contain. You've grown in the place you're leaving, but now you're outgrowing it. The thoughts, patterns, people, and environments that once felt like home now feel tight, and that discomfort isn't failure. It's the sign you're ready for what's next. I am calling you into deeper waters where control must be released. I am inviting you to trust me with the details you cannot predict. What you see ahead may not come with familiar landmarks, but I have already gone before you to prepare a way where none existed. You are not wandering, you are being led. I've charted every step. I've walked through every outcome. I've inspected the road and placed provision along the path, even in places where you expect nothing but wilderness. What feels foreign to your logic is familiar to my spirit. I am not nervous about what's ahead, so you don't need to be either. The unknown to you is already known to me, and I am not experimenting with your life. I am fulfilling it. Every twist, every new challenge, every strange instruction I give, it all has purpose. I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm calling you out of what's predictable so that I can show you what's miraculous. You won't need a blueprint. You won't need validation from others. You only need my voice, and I promise you will hear it. The moment you take that first step into the unfamiliar, you will begin to recognize me in places you never expected. I will confirm the way in strange places. I will place peace on paths that logic would call foolish. And the courage you need won't come from preparation. It will rise inside of you like a holy fire when it's time to move. You've asked me to increase your faith, and now I'm answering not with a feeling, but with an invitation. I'm not pushing you off a cliff. I'm asking you to walk with me on water. Don't stare at the waves. Don't analyze the wind. Keep your eyes on me. I will not let you drown in what I've called you to cross. What begins in uncertainty will end in transformation. The unknown is the birthplace of every testimony worth telling. This is where your faith becomes alive, not theoretical, but real. When you look back, you won't remember how unsure you felt. You'll remember how I showed up. You'll remember how provision met you halfway. You'll recall how doors opened without warning, how help came in the form of strangers, how peace anchored your steps even when fear tried to scream. You won't just come through this, you'll emerge with stories of my goodness that no one can take from you. So take the step, even if your legs shake, even if no one else understands. You're not stepping alone. I am with you, not watching from above, but walking beside you. I am already where you're going. I've already set things in motion. I'm not introducing you to fear, I'm leading you into freedom. The unknown is not your enemy, it is the space I've designed to stretch you, bless you, transform you, and reveal the version of yourself that routine could never unlock. This is where comfort ends and calling begins. This is where safety steps aside so that purpose can rise. And when you arrive at the other side of this unfamiliar place, you'll finally see what looked uncertain from here was actually the path to everything I promised you long ago. The very forces that opposed you, the circumstances that blocked your progress, the people who withheld what was rightfully yours, they are shifting. I have not only silenced your adversaries, I have restructured the terrain. What you fought against will now work in your favor. The opposition, that stood like an iron wall will become the platform I use to elevate you. The systems that delayed you, the decisions that were made behind your back, the relationships that seem to only create roadblocks, they are being reversed in this hour. I am flipping the resistance into recognition. I am causing what was used to frustrate you to now serve as the fuel that propels you forward. And no, you're not imagining it, it's not coincidence or luck. It's me realigning everything. I have spoken to what was holding you back, and now it must move. I am commanding favor to rise from places where you were once ignored. You will not have to beg or knock repeatedly anymore. Where you were once told no, doors will now swing open without effort. What once demanded all of your energy to barely move will now respond effortlessly to your presence, because the anointing I've placed on your life now carries weight that creation recognizes. Even nature, even time, even environments will begin to cooperate with your calling. I have sent angels ahead of you to soften hard hearts, to prepare conversations, to shift the tone in rooms before you enter. You won't even know the full scope of how I'm aligning things behind the scenes, but you'll feel it, you'll sense the change in momentum. This is not a trickle, it's a tidal shift, a holy reversal. You are not imagining the difference, because it is divine. The wind is now at your back, not in your face. The resistance that once drained you has been reassigned to accelerate you. You are entering a realm where my favor makes the impossible probable. Not because you're forcing it, but because I have already declared it so. The places that once drained your joy will now be the very locations where breakthroughs erupt. The very names that tried to bury your potential will now be forced to acknowledge the power flowing through you. But child, do not respond with pride. Respond with purpose. This is not for revenge. This is for redemption. I am not changing their hearts so you can bloat, I'm doing it so my glory can be displayed fully. Let the bitterness go. Let the old memory of resistance fade. You don't need it where I'm taking you. I'm rewriting the script. You don't need to brace for backlash anymore. You don't have to calculate how to dodge criticism. Walk free. Speak boldly. Move with peace. Because I am transforming resistance into assistance. I am turning friction into favor. Even the time that felt wasted, watch how I recover it. Even the resources that were withheld, see how I multiply them. Even the people who oppose your progress, some of them I am softening, and others I am removing. Trust the exchange. Trust the shift. Don't cling to what used to fight you. Allow me to now use it to lift you. You'll begin to notice it soon. Calls that once went unanswered will be returned. Emails that were ignored will now receive enthusiastic replies. Resources that were unavailable will be released with ease. Connections that felt strained will now carry unexpected peace. Not because you've changed your strategy, but because I've changed the atmosphere. I have turned the tide. It is now flowing in your direction. This is the moment when everything starts to flow differently. To walk into it without suspicion. Don't sabotage it by expecting the old resistance. Expect favor. Expect ease, not because the road is free of challenge, but because the current is carrying you forward now. I am making even your past enemies work for your future victory. This is my promise. This is my doing. And nothing can stop what I have set in motion. The war that's been waged in your atmosphere, the unrest that's gripped your nights and crept into your thoughts like an unwanted guest, I'm evicting it now. The swirling pressure that's made it hard for you to think clearly, to breathe fully, to rest deeply, is not stronger than my word. I am stepping into the very core of that unrest with authority, and I am speaking one command: peace, be still. You will no longer live on edge, bracing for another disruption. You've spent enough time adjusting to instability, trying to keep balance on ground that kept shaking beneath you. But I have drawn a line, and chaos will not cross it. The storm doesn't get the final say, I do. You don't have to manage the disorder anymore. I never asked you to adapt to confusion, I've come to abolish it. I am restoring stillness in your soul, not as a suggestion, but as a decree. The turmoil that lingered like a shadow behind your smile will lose its grip. The tension in your chest, the sleeplessness, the rapid racing of your thoughts, it all must bow to my peace. I am filling your environment with the kind of calm that silences fear before it has a chance to speak. I am entering every atmosphere you carry, your home, your relationships, your inner world, and I am bringing alignment. No more emotional earthquakes. No more spiritual migraines. No more walking into rooms and sensing confusion weighing you down. I am not just placing peace around you, I am placing peace within you. The kind that remains, even when circumstances try to shift. The kind that anchors you, even when others panic. This peace is not fragile. It's not temporary. It's not something you need to earn or maintain by your own effort. It is mine, and I give it to you freely. Not as the world gives, not based on outcomes, not based on circumstances, not based on the absence of problems. My peace overrides circumstances. It redefines your atmosphere from the inside out. I am giving you discernment to know what to welcome and what to refuse. You will no longer be tossed around by the moods of others. You will not be manipulated by emotional turbulence. I am lifting your soul out of the pit of internal chaos and setting it in the wide open field of stillness. You will not mistake movement for progress anymore, busyness for purpose, noise for importance. I am removing the whirlwind that blurred your vision and replacing it with clarity that calms. From now on, when you enter a space, the atmosphere will bend to the peace you carry. You are no longer a thermometer, adapting to the temperature of the room. You are a thermostat, shifting it. Because where I dwell, peace dwells, and I dwell in you. And when chaos tries to return, it will find a sealed space, guarded by my presence. Even the people who once brought confusion into your life will begin to feel a change. Some will leave, not because you asked them to, but because they can't survive in this new climate of peace. Others will be softened by what you carry, drawn in by the calm they didn't know they were desperate for. I'm not just transforming your space, I'm using your peace to reach others who are still drowning. But first, let it fill you completely. Don't rush past this. Don't try to earn what I'm handing to you. Just receive it. Let peace take root. Let it fill your home. Let it change the tone of your conversations. Let it sink into your breathing, your pace, your posture. Let it flow through your boundaries. You were not made to survive in chaos. You were made to rule with peace. You were created to be grounded, centered, focused, not frazzled, reactive, exhausted. That version of you is no longer required. The striving is over. The fight for inner safety has ended. I have arrived, and I am releasing peace like a river. Let it carry you into the next moment. Let it wrap you in assurance. Let it break every pattern of panic you normalized. I've taken over the atmosphere now. Peace is here to stay. The noise that's lived inside your head, the constant accusations, the endless what-ifs, the relentless inner voice that questioned your value and replayed your failures on repeat, it's losing its power right now. You've lived under mental siege, trying to worship while being bombarded by thoughts that didn't come from me. Those intrusive whispers that told you you're not enough, that you'll always be behind, that your best days are gone, they were never truth. They were tactics. They were planted to wear you down from the inside out, to make you fight battles you were never meant to engage in. But I am reclaiming your thought life. I am stepping into the war zone that's existed in your mind, and I am bringing a hush to every lying voice that dared to speak against what I've declared over you. You are not who those thoughts said you were. You are not bound to replay the trauma of your past, nor are you required to hold hands with anxiety in order to function. I am cleansing the atmosphere of your mind. I'm not giving you a temporary distraction, I'm releasing a permanent silence over the lies. What was loud is now losing volume. What was constant is now being dismantled. You don't have to argue with those thoughts anymore. You don't have to analyze them, try to explain them, or wonder why they show up when you're at your weakest. You only need to know this: they will not survive the weight of my voice. When I speak, lies scatter. When I whisper truth, torment can't remain. I'm flooding your mind with my words now. Not just comforting words, but words that anchor, words that build, words that bring sanity back where confusion once claimed a throne. The battlefield of your mind is becoming a sanctuary. I am marking your thoughts as territory of heaven. Every mental loop that played shame like a broken record is being broken completely. You've asked me for peace, and now I give it to you, starting at the root, your thoughts. I know how exhausting it has been to live internally exhausted while functioning externally. You smiled while battling doubts. You served while silencing screams inside. You persevered while panic told you to quit. But I have seen every second of that inner war, and now I have come as your deliverer, not just of situations, but of strongholds. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are not damaged goods. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are not a failure. You are not forgotten. And you are no longer available to host the enemy's commentary. I am giving you back your mind, and I am filling it with things of me: hope, strength, wisdom, identity, joy, discipline, light. From this moment forward, your internal climate will reflect heaven's atmosphere. When a thought enters that doesn't align with what I've said, you will recognize it instantly, and it will not be able to stay. I am sharpening your discernment. I am cleansing your meditations. You will no longer wake up tired because your mind didn't sleep. You will no longer feel heavy by midday because you spent the morning in a silent mental battle. My presence is not just for your spirit, it's for your mind. My peace is not just for your circumstances, it's for your thinking. This change will be noticeable. You'll feel it when you pray more clarity. You'll notice it when you speak more confidence. Even your countenance will shift, because when the inner war ends, the outer you shines differently. The voices that tormented you before will no longer recognize you, because I'm changing the address of your thoughts. They no longer reside in fear's neighborhood. I have moved you into the shelter of my truth, and I'm posting angels at the borders of your mind. Nothing gets in without my permission now. You are safe here. You are sound here. You are whole here. And this time, child, the silence will not be lonely, it will be holy. You've been staring at clocks and calendars, counting the days, wondering why the answer hasn't arrived, questioning if it passed you by or was rerouted to someone else. But what you thought was lateness was actually protection. I never denied what I promised. I was preserving it, shielding it, guarding it. Because what I've prepared for you isn't small or fragile, it's weighty, it's sacred, and it required an atmosphere ready to receive it. A premature blessing can feel like a curse, and I love you too much to let you receive something that would overwhelm or underdevelop you. What you thought was a closed door was actually my hand, holding back a gift that had to wait for fullness. Fullness of time, fullness of growth, fullness of understanding. And now that time has matured and your spirit has deepened, I'm no longer holding it back, I'm releasing it. Not in fragments, not in a version watered down to fit your fears, but in the fullness of what I always intended. I preserved it the way a master gardener protects a harvest, covering it from frost, waiting until the roots were strong enough to sustain the fruit. The delay wasn't punishment, it was strategy. I saw what you couldn't see. I heard conversations behind closed doors. I foresaw decisions you weren't aware of. And so I stretched the weight, not to test your patience, but to preserve your peace. And even when you grew weary, even when you thought I forgot, I was perfecting what I promised. You're about to step into something that seems sudden, but in truth, it's been maturing for longer than you knew. And didn't vanish. It wasn't taken. It was simply protected in heaven's vault, guarded by my word, untouched by time or threat. And now the environment is right. Your heart is postured. Your discernment has sharpened. Your capacity has grown. So I'm opening the vault, and you're about to see what faith really produces when it's allowed to grow through surrender and not striving. The blessing that's about to enter your life isn't coming to impress others, it's coming to align you, to root you deeper in me, to elevate your worship, not your image, to fulfill a divine setup, not feed temporary feelings. And it will come wrapped in my peace. You won't have to manipulate it or chase it. You won't have to pretend or perform to keep it. You won't have to water it with anxiety or guard it with insecurity. It will fit you. It will flow with you. It will carry the fragrance of my presence, and you will know the difference, because it won't stir panic. It will stir praise. This is the kind of blessing that redeems the weight, that explains the nights you cried not knowing why you were still empty, that answers questions you stopped asking because you were too tired to hope. I'm restoring wonder to your soul. I'm awakening joy where discouragement used to nest. I'm showing you that I don't just fulfill my promises, I protect them until the moment they won't break you. You've seen others receive, and you celebrated them while secretly aching inside. But you never knew that what I'm giving you required more construction because it carries more responsibility. This is not a replica of what others have, it's unique to your assignment. And when it arrives, you will recognize why the journey had to be what it was. You'll see the fingerprint of my wisdom in every detour. You'll feel the power of my timing in every detail. And you will bless the wait not because it was easy, but because now you see it was necessary. So do not grieve lost time. I am the God who restores. I don't just return what was delayed, I multiplied. I add layers of richness no timeline could predict. And this blessing, it will not pass by. It's marked for your life. It's sealed by my word. It's preserved not for someday, but for now. There were moments when you came to me with wide eyes and an open heart, fully expecting that what you desired was aligned with my will, only to be met with silence or worse, a door that closed so firmly it left you in shock. I watched you walk away from those moments confused, feeling unseen, misread, even forsaken. I heard your quiet questions in the dark. Lord, why not this? And what did I do wrong? What, child? You did nothing wrong. I wasn't punishing you, I was protecting you from a path that seemed good to your eyes but would have exhausted your soul. I saw beyond the surface. I saw where that yes would have taken you, what it would have cost your peace, your joy, your focus, your destiny. What you saw as rejection was actually me standing guard over a future you didn't yet understand. And now, as I release what has been waiting, what is truly appointed, truly blessed, truly built to last, you will see how that no was soaked in love. You will begin to connect the dots, not just with your mind, but with your spirit. Every tear you cried after that denied opportunity, I have bottled them all. Every time your heart sank because things didn't go the way you prayed, I was holding your heart in my hands, whispering, wait, I have something better. And this, right here, is the better. This is the yes that was worth the wait. This is the door I built from the ground up, fashioned from the blueprint of your calling, infused with my favor, wrapped in my perfect timing. It will not resemble what you thought you wanted, but it will far exceed it. It will not come with strings or struggle, it will come with peace and confirmation. You will feel the difference the moment you walk into it. It won't drain you trying to hold it together. It won't make you question your identity just to belong. It will feel like coming home to a place you've never been but always knew in your spirit. This yes will not just bless you, it will restore you. It will soothe the wounds left behind by seasons of confusion. It will bring full circle the prayers you once abandoned because you were too tired to keep hoping. And not only will you understand why I said no, you will thank me. You will look back and see how close you came to settling, and your worship will deepen because you will realize just how intentional I've been. I don't say no to hurt you, I say no to elevate you beyond what you even knew to ask for. The blessings I give are not rushed. They are ripened. They are custom fitted to your growth, your transformation, your purpose. That's why the wait felt so long. Because I wasn't just preparing it, I was preparing you. I needed your heart to be ready to steward what's coming, not cling to it out of desperation. I needed you to know me as the God of trust before I showed you me as the God of abundance. And now that your roots have gone deep in trust, I can give you something that won't uproot you with pressure. This is a gift you won't have to strive to maintain. It will rest with you. It will expand through you. It will reflect me. And when others see it, They won't just be impressed, they'll be inspired to trust me in their own seasons of delay. Because I'm not just redeeming time, I'm redeeming testimony. Your story will be proof that I don't waste tears. I don't ignore longing. I don't withhold good from those who walk with me. I may say no for a time, but when I say yes, it's full, it's final, and it floods every dry place you carried through the desert. To let this yes sink in. Let it heal what the no left raw. Let it speak louder than your doubts ever did. Because I was never trying to take something from you. I was making space for what was always meant to be yours. This is not the time to sit in silence or fold your hands in uncertainty. This is the hour to lift up your voice, not because everything looks ready, but because I said it is. Praise is not the celebration of what your eyes can see. It's the declaration of trust in what I have already set in motion. The next chapter of your life is already written, but the posture you take tonight will determine how your spirit walks into it. If you meet it with worry, you will miss the beauty I've woven into its details. But if you meet it with worship, you'll walk in step with my presence from the very beginning. You've waited, you've wept, you've wondered if this moment would ever come. But now that it's here, don't let weariness rob you of the wonder. You're not stumbling into this breakthrough, you're stepping into it with intentionality. And that step begins with praise. Not reactive praise that waits for the confirmation, but prophetic praise that welcomes what is already on its way. Tonight, let your thanksgiving rise like incense. Not because you understand everything, but because you believe I've already gone ahead of you. The walls you thought wouldn't fall have already cracked beneath my command. The answers that felt delayed are no longer waiting for release. The shift is already happening. What's left is for your heart to catch up to the pace of my promise. And praise is the bridge that brings you into alignment. As you praise me, things are moving in realms you cannot yet perceive. There are things being arranged in your favor that your logic can't explain. People are being positioned. Documents are being finalized. Conversations are being guided. Miracles are being prepared. And your praise tells heaven you're ready to receive. I'm not asking you to perform or pretend. I'm inviting you into a sacred posture that attracts acceleration. Tonight is not about loudness, it's about reverence. Let your praise be pure. Let it be a reflection of trust that's been tested and refined. Don't praise me for what you think is coming. Praise me because you know I never lie. I told you I would do it. I told you I was not finished. I told you the latter would be greater. And now the sound of praise will become the sound of preparation. It will be the evidence that you have let go of the need to see before you believe. Even if your body is tired, let your spirit dance. Even if your mind is swirling, let your soul be still. Let the sound of your praise declare, I am ready. Because what you are stepping into is holy. It will require your full attention. It will call for discernment. It will demand a rested soul. And praise is what clears the noise so that my voice can be heard clearly. The night is sacred. Don't waste it worrying. Don't fill it with distractions. Carve out a moment. Set aside a space. Let worship become your preparation room. Let gratitude rise before your eyes see what your heart already knows. This is how you unlock the full measure of what I'm about to do. I'm not just delivering a blessing, I'm drawing near. And when you praise me tonight, my presence will fill the room. I will begin to whisper strategy. I will begin to deposit boldness. I will begin to heal what's left wounded. I will begin to stir up gifts that have lain dormant. Your praise is not for me to hear, it's for your spirit to awaken. It's for your faith to remember. It's for your atmosphere to shift. Because when tomorrow arrives, and it will, you will not be caught off guard. You will be standing ready, hands lifted, heart aligned, eyes wide open, fully present for what I have been waiting to release. Praise me tonight, not just because I'm worthy, but because you're ready. Let that be your offering. Let that be your war cry. Let that be your answer to everything that once made you doubt. For what comes next needs more than belief, it needs praise that has been purified by the fire and still rises strong. This is your moment to rise. This is your night to prepare. Lift your voice, my child, tomorrow listens. There are parts of you that once burned bright desires, dreams, instincts, and anointings that pulsed with purpose, yet over time, they grew silent. Not because they were false, but because the season wasn't yet ready to receive what you carry. You mistook their quietness for expiration. You thought time had buried them beneath layers of disappointment, delay, and distraction. But I never forgot what I planted. I never rescinded what I deposited in your spirit when no one else was watching. Those gifts didn't die, they rested. They were cocooned, not canceled. And now, the alarm in heaven has sounded. I am calling them forth with the authority of the one who offered them. They are not returning in the shape you last saw them. They are returning mature, younger, stronger, prepared for impact. What once felt like a random passion will now emerge as divine assignment. What you assumed was merely a talent will now reveal itself as a tool to build my kingdom in ways you never imagined. You will feel it stirring like fire in your bones, like light beneath your skin, like clarity awakening after a long night. You will begin to sense an urgency in areas you had ignored. Interests you once pushed aside will suddenly burn with fresh relevance. Your voice will begin to carry weight again, not for performance, but for purpose. Your hands will find tasks they were made to complete. Your spirit will lead where logic hesitates. Because I am not just waking up potential, I am releasing activation. The gifts I gave you were not for decoration, they are for deliverance. They were never meant to collect dust on the shelves of waiting, they were forged for this moment. This is not random. The world is groaning for what you carry. There are lives attached to your obedience. There are destinies waiting for your voice to rise. And the awakening you feel is not emotional, it is divine timing colliding with your yes. No longer will you disqualify yourself based on who did notice or affirm what's inside of you. I affirmed it before the foundation of the world. I chose you while you were still in the womb. I etched your gifts into the fabric of your soul, and I did not make a mistake. Yes, others may have overlooked you. Yes, doors may have stayed shut for a while. But I was never preparing the world for you, I was preparing you for the world. And now that the soil is ready, the rain is falling. The seed that has waited silently is bursting with new life. You won't need to force this growth. You won't need to make it happen. It will come naturally, supernaturally. Like breath returning to lungs. Like light returning to the horizon after the darkest hour. What you thought was over is only just beginning. And no, you don't need to know how it will all unfold. You simply need to yield. Let me guide you. Let me teach you how to use what I've placed in your care. I'm bringing mentors. I'm orchestrating training. I'm creating platforms not to make you famous, but to make you fruitful. Because your gifts are not for display, they are for deployment. And when you begin to move in them, the fear you once felt will fall away. You will feel the rhythm of purpose flow through your veins. You will sense alignment in your every step. This is not just you returning to what you used to do, it's you stepping into what you were always meant to become. You'll realize that nothing was wasted. Not the delay. Not the obscurity. Not the heartbreak. All of it fertilized the ground that now produces boldness, compassion, endurance, and fire. So don't be surprised when things begin to shift. Don't hold back when new invitations come. Don't downplay your abilities to make others comfortable. I am not waking these gifts up for them to be hidden again. I'm calling you into activation, into purpose, into fullness. This is your hour to rise not as someone new, but as the version of you that has been waiting beneath the surface all along. I have not forgotten what was shattered in your hands. I have not overlooked the pieces you swept into quiet corners, too tired to hope they could ever be whole again. You stopped trying to fix it, not out of apathy, but out of fatigue, because every attempt led to more disappointment. You walked away from it slowly, your heart heavy, your spirit whispering, maybe some things aren't meant to be restored. But child, what you saw as beyond repair, I saw as ripe for resurrection. I do not look at fragments and see failure. I see foundation. And the very areas where you've experienced the most heartbreak, the most silence, the most abandonment, those are the places I'm about to move. Not with a patch or a substitute, but with resurrection power. I am not interested in taping together what was. I am bringing new life into what you thought was over. The relationships that fractured, the dreams that crumbled, the seasons you said goodbye to with silent tears, I'm breathing over all of it. Tomorrow, without fanfare, you'll begin to feel it, something stirring where there was only numbness. You'll sense movement in the areas you gave up praying about. Not all at once, not with noise or spectacle, but with undeniable grace. A call, a word, a door, a spark, something that tells your soul, it's not over. Because I am in the business of restoring what man discards. I am the God who brings beauty from ashes, who turns graves into gardens, who takes dry bones and forms armies. And what you buried under the assumption it could never live again, I am calling it forth. But this time, it will not look how you left it. I'm not restoring what broke, I'm restoring you through it. What comes forth from this revival will be stronger, richer, wiser, more saturated in my glory. The cracks you feared would make it unstable will instead be the very signs of where my light shines through. You'll no longer view those memories with pain, but with reverence. Because you'll realize that even in the breaking, I was present. Even in the silence, I was planning. Even in the goodbye, I was preparing something greater. I do not revive to return you to what was. I revive to elevate you beyond where you've been. And now that you've tasted surrender, now that you've loosened your grip on what you thought it had to be, I can do what only I can do, bring life back. Not as it was, but as it was always meant to be. Your restoration will look like replacement, it will look like redemption. You will recognize pieces of what was, but wrapped in my grace, they will feel new. You'll stand in spaces that once reminded you of failure and feel only peace. You'll see the faces of those who hurt you and feel no bitterness, only release. I am rewriting the story, not with ink, but with resurrection breath. So let go of your timeline. Let go of your requirement that it look a certain way. Trust me when I say that what I raise to life will be worth every second you spent in mourning. The grave you wept at will become the garden you dance in. The part of your story you tried to erase will now be the chapter others read for hope. And you will not just witness the revival, you will carry it. Your testimony will awaken others who thought they were too far gone. Your voice will revive people who stopped believing restoration was possible. Because you won't speak from theory, you will speak from encounter. You'll speak as one who stood over brokenness and watched me breathe. You'll speak as one who felt the pulse return to dead places. And you'll never again doubt that I am who I say I am, the God who restores, revives, and redeems all things in perfect time. So don't brace for disappointment anymore. Lean in with expectation. Because tomorrow, what you left behind in sorrow will begin to rise in beauty. And it will breathe again, not because you willed it, but because I have called it forth. There were people who smiled in your presence, but whispered against you in the dark. They judged what they didn't understand, slandered what they couldn't control, and tried to poison others' perception of you because your light made their shadows uncomfortable. Some of them weren't strangers, they were ones you trusted, poured into, carried, prayed for. And the betrayal left a mark, not just on your heart, but on your confidence. You began to wonder if their words could actually shape your future, if their opinions could truly delay what I promised. But I tell you now, and I say it with finality, no curse spoken over you can override the covenant I made with you. Their attempts to discredit, disqualify, or diminish you have failed. What they plotted in secret will now be outshined by what I do in the open. Not because I seek revenge, but because I reveal truth, and truth always rises. The time of false narratives surviving is over. The web of lies they tried to weave around your name is unraveling by my hand. And in its place, I am clothing you with unmistakable favor that cannot be fabricated, denied, or hidden. You won't need to defend yourself. You won't need to address what was said. I will be your defender. I will be your advocate. And my presence will speak louder than any accusation ever could. What once was used to mock you will be the very thing I use to honor you. They tried to minimize you with words. I will magnify you with deeds. And it won't just be for show. The favor I place upon you will function like armor, unshakable, unpierceable. It will protect your mind from internalizing their lies. It will shield your heart from bitterness. It will silence the desire to retaliate, because you will be too busy walking in what they said you could never have. I am surrounding you now, not with vengeance but with visibility. The ones who dismissed you will have no choice but to witness what I do next. And it will be for your ego, it will be for my glory. Because what they meant for harm is now serving as the backdrop to showcase my hand over your life. They didn't realize that while they were speaking against you, I was speaking over you. While they were spreading rumors, I was writing your restoration. While they were pointing fingers, I was lifting you. Your name is not in their hands, it's etched in mine. And I don't call what I've chosen unworthy. So do not waste energy trying to fix their perception. Focus instead on receiving what I'm about to pour. Favor is coming in waves. Open doors. Unexpected endorsements. Divine rehearsals. Clarity where confusion once reigned. Vindication not just in words but in undeniable results. And through it all, I will guard your spirit so that you walk in humility, not hurt. So that you bless instead of curse. So that you shine without the need to shout. I am setting a table for you, and yes, they will see it. But more than that, they will see me. They will see my mercy, my justice, my faithfulness, my fingerprints all over your life. And some of them will come back not to gloat, but to apologize, to repent, to ask how you didn't fall apart under their attacks. And you will answer with grace, because my armor wasn't made of pride, it was made of His favor. Let this truth sink deep. No word spoken in malice can undo the word I've spoken in love. You are rising, and no curse can stop it. You are walking into visibility, and no opposition can dim it. I go before you, I stand beside you, I cover behind you. So move forward boldly. Not to prove them wrong, but to prove that I was always right about you. Every scheme that was set in motion to unravel your identity, every trap laid in the dark to derail your calling, every whispered lie crafted to make you question your worth, I saw it all. I heard the words meant to break your spirit. I watched the doors slammed in your face with the hope that you'd never rise again. I felt the spiritual weight of the attack sent to crush what I've placed in you. But what the enemy never understood is that I do not abandon my own. And every time he came close, thinking he had silenced your voice, I was already preparing a louder sound. What he thought would finish you only fueled the fire I placed within you. The very battles sent to steal your destiny have become the training ground for the mantle you now carry. What was meant to destroy you has become the reason you now stand stronger, clearer, and more relentless in faith. You didn't just survive the attacks, you were refined by them. You've emerged wiser, deeper, more discerning. And now, the enemy is trembling, not because you retaliated, but because you've learned how to rest in me. It terrifies darkness more than anything when a child of God is no longer shaken. You stopped chasing validation, and you started walking in authority. You've stopped reacting to every attack and started responding with worship. That's when the tables turn. That's when the adversary begins to lose hold because you've realized he never had control to begin with. I am raising you in front of what tried to bury you. The assignment sent to break your will is now breaking in your hands. You are not just a survivor, you are a weapon in my hand. Your very existence is a disruption to the plans of hell. The enemy will regret the day he touched your story, because now I'm using every broken part as a platform to release breakthrough. You will stand in places of authority and speak with weight, not because you avoided pain, but because you walked through fire and came out with glory. You didn't lose your mind, you gained the mind of Christ. You didn't fall apart, you found strength no human could provide. I shielded your soul when you didn't even know you were under attack. I fought wars on your behalf while you slept. And now, I'm releasing the harvest of those unseen victories. It's not just about restoration, it's about reversal. I am reversing the plot. I am reversing the narrative. The same areas where you were mocked will now become your ministry. The same weaknesses used to shame you will become wells of wisdom for others. You will minister from healed scars, not open wounds. You will teach from victory, not vengeance. And every step you take will serve as a reminder to the enemy that he failed miserably. Because not only are you still here, you are thriving. You are rising with clarity, with fire in your voice, with purpose in your step. I didn't bring you through that season just to make a statement. I brought you through to make an impact. And you will. You already are. Hell hoped to silence you. Heaven has now amplified you. And from this point forward, you will not flinch when opposition comes. You will recognize it for what it is: confirmation that you carry something powerful. The enemy doesn't waste resources on empty vessels. He attacked you because he saw what I placed inside you. And now, everything he meant for evil is being flipped. Every arrow launched at your purpose is now launching your purpose. You will regret ever reaching for your name, your mind, your identity. Because I've marked you. And I do not let go of what I've marked. So stand tall, not to intimidate, but to testify. You are walking proof that no weapon formed against you can prosper. You are evidence that I turn pressure into oil. And you will see what once came to destroy you will now serve the very platform where I glorify my name through your life. You've been asking for change, crying for movement, praying for breakthrough, but what's about to unfold will not come in the way you predicted. It won't follow your logic, your timeline, or the pattern you studied. It will bypass the blueprint you tried to create. Because what I'm doing now is bigger than a plan. It's a divine shift that only your trust can carry you through. I'm not calling you to understand every detail. I'm calling you to walk even when the path bends into unfamiliar terrain. Trust won't be a concept, it will be your lifeline. There will be moments when it looks like I've led you into a dead end, when the door ahead seems locked, when the voices around you don't see what you see. But I will whisper, and you will know it's me. I will confirm with signs that make no sense to your flesh but bring peace to your spirit. I will take you through places that challenge your past patterns, places that stretch your surrender, and it will be there in the middle of the unknown, that your roots will grow deeper than they ever have. This shift is not just a gift. It's a call to higher ground. I am elevating your view so you no longer see through the lens of fear but through the eyes of faith. To others, it may look risky, but to you, it will feel holy. You will sense my hand even when everything around you shakes. I'm not asking for blind obedience, I'm asking for bold agreement. Trust is not the absence of questions. It's the choice to follow when you don't have all the answers. And this shift will require you to follow closely. Not casually, not occasionally, but intentionally, every morning, every moment, every breath. Because what I'm unlocking is weighty. It carries eternal value. It holds blessing not just for you, but for those who will be touched by your yes. You won't see the full picture at once. I will unfold it in pieces. I will test your willingness to move without needing clarity from man. I will prompt you to step before you see. And as you do, the fog will lift. The resources will align. The pavilion will appear. But only after your step of trust. I am calling you to move on the strength of my voice alone. That's how you will know it's me. That's how you will know it's real. You won't be able to rely on familiarity. The old ways won't work here. The old rhythms won't sustain you. You will feel the stretch, and in the stretch, I will prove my presence. In the tension, I will reveal my strategy. In the silence, I will whisper secrets meant only for you. You don't need to brace for disappointment. You need to lean into me. When the shift comes, and it will come swiftly, it will change the pace of everything around you. Things that took months will happen in days. Connections you waited years for will manifest in moments. Decisions you agonized over will suddenly be clear. Not because they got easier, but because your trust got deeper. You'll no longer ask, what if this fails? Instead, you'll say, if God said it, I believe it. It's the faith I'm birthing in you through this shift. Faith that moves mountains, opens gates, and parts waters. You'll know it's me not just by what happens around you, but by what awakens within you. Courage you thought you lost will rise again. Boldness you never knew you had will take over. And as you trust me, I will guide your steps so precisely that you'll look back and see that every risk was actually divine alignment. So prepare your heart, my child. Because tomorrow's shift is not something you maneuver with control, it's something you embrace with trust. And the moment you say, "Yes, Lord, I trust you," even here, the shift won't just begin around you. It will begin inside you. What felt unreachable, what once existed only in your imagination, what you thought was reserved for people more qualified, more connected, more visible, I am bringing it into your reality. You won't just speak about these places with hope. You will step into them with authority. I am removing the boundary between vision and manifestation. You waited long enough. You've pressed through disbelief, past the voices that told you it wasn't your time, and now I'm about to show you that the glimpses I gave you weren't fantasies, they were previews. You will find yourself standing in rooms that once only lived in your prayers. You will touch what you to cry for. You will sit in spaces that once seemed too sacred to belong to someone with your history. Because I do not tease my children with false hope, I plant vision as a promise of what will be. And now, it will be. The environment is changing around you not to overwhelm you, but to confirm that you have grown into what you once asked for. Those places aren't too big for you anymore. Your spirit has expanded. Your discernment has matured. Your capacity has stretched. This isn't a dream anymore, it's your territory. What once felt like a far-off possibility is now becoming your next reality, and I need you to stop second-guessing your belonging. I need you to stop looking over your shoulder, expecting someone to tell you you're not allowed. You are not trespassing. You are arriving. This was always written in the blueprint of your life. I wasn't showing you those places to tease you, I was awakening you to what was already yours. The reason you felt such a pull toward them is because your spirit recognized what your eyes had not yet seen. And now, your feet will follow where your spirit has already walked. But don't just walk in timidly, enter with reverence, with worship, with the humility of someone who knows that every step is soaked in my favor. You won't need to prove yourself. The fruit will speak for you. The glow on your face, the authority in your words, the peace in your presence, those are the marks of someone who has been prepared by me. They'll look at you and wonder how you made it. Some will assume you had connections. Others will think it happened overnight. But you'll know it was built in the dark, in the quiet, in the years no one saw. You'll know it was my hand that made a way where none existed. And when they ask, you will testify not about your skill, but about your surrender. Not about your strategy, but about my sovereignty. Because this is more than a personal achievement, it's a prophetic fulfillment. It's the realization of every seed you planted in faith. Every silent yes. Every unseen act of obedience. Every moment you worshiped with no applause. They were building this moment. And now, the places that once felt like distant dreams are becoming your present ground. Even the atmosphere will feel different. It will confirm what I've already whispered to you in secret. You're not dreaming anymore. You're living it. So breathe deeply when you arrive. Let the weight of it remind you that I remember every promise. Let the atmosphere speak louder than the past you came from. This is not an accident. You didn't stumble into this. I guided every step. I preserved your entrance for the moment you'd be able to carry it well. And now, as you stand in what used to be unreachable, don't rush through it. Walk slowly. Absorb it. Let it mark you. Because this is only the beginning. There are more places, more platforms, more purposes ahead. But I brought you here first so you'd believe. So your doubt would finally dissolve. So your faith would have a foundation to build on. You dreamed it once, but now, I am establishing it for good. I am placing in your grasp not just a vision, but the tools to create something that has never existed in your lineage. What others only talked about, what some dismissed as impossible, I am now authorizing through your hands. Not because you are the most qualified in the eyes of men, but because your surrender made you trustworthy in mine. Your hands have known weariness. Yes, they've carried burdens. They've shaken from the weight of invisible battles, but they have also remained lifted in worship. And now, those same hands will craft, restore, plant, and build at a pace that confounds expectation. This won't be construction for the sake of appearance. This will be kingdom work, born of obedience, rooted in eternity, destined to multiply. Others gave up when they saw how slow it started. You persevered. Others abandoned the blueprint because it didn't match their timeline. You kept reading my instructions, line by line, even when it didn't make sense. And now, I'm turning the page and the next chapter begins with action. You will find strength return to you in the doing. As you begin to build, your hands will no longer tremble with doubt, but burn with passion. The foundation will be steady because I am the one who dug the ground beneath it. You don't need to worry if it will last, it is anchored in me. What you are building will outlive you. It will stretch beyond your lifetime and become a resting place for generations to come. You're not just making something for yourself. You're laying groundwork for the ones who come after, those who will walk freely on paths your sacrifice carved out. The world has seen many builders, but what I am doing through you will not mirror the structures of man. You will not copy what already exists. You will pioneer what has yet to be seen. I have given you a heavenly pattern, one that may seem unorthodox to the natural mind. Some will question your choices. Some will not understand why you walked away from what looked promising in order to build what seemed small. But I will be your voice when they question you. I will vindicate your work not with words, but with undeniable results. They will see what your hands produce and they will marvel, not because of the scale, but because of the purity. You will not cut corners. You will not compromise integrity. What you build will carry weight because it was birthed in my presence. And when the storms come, and they will come, your structure will stand, because it was formed from stone, not sand. You will not need to compete for influence. I will draw the right eyes at the right time. I will bring the ones who were destined to help, to invest, to join, to support. But first, I need you to trust that your hands are enough when they are led by me. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect. Begin now. Begin even if it looks small. Begin even if your hands still tremble. As you lay each brick, I will breathe on it. As you speak each word, I will anoint it. As you move forward in faith, I will supply what your hands lack. Tools will appear. Wisdom will flood in. Doors will open not to distract, but to equip. I will not let your hands grow idle. I will keep them busy with holy purpose. And in the doing, you will see me closer than ever before. For I don't just give blueprints, I build beside you. I don't just speak instruction, I hold the other end of the beam. Together, we will build something unshakable. And as others witness what rises, they will realize it wasn't about the hands, it was about the one who guided them. Keep building, my child. What you're creating has heaven's signature on every nail, every stone, every stroke. They said it couldn't be done, but they didn't know who was holding your hand. You've been silenced in seasons when your words could have shifted the atmosphere, and you've swallowed truths that were meant to break chains. The enemy fought your voice because he knew what I had placed within it. He recognized that even before you fully did. That's why shame came early. That's why rejection stung so deep. That's why criticism echoed louder than encouragement, because if your voice ever truly awakened, it would shake everything that tried to silence you. But now, I am anointing your voice with resurrection power. It will no longer tremble with insecurity. It will no longer carry hesitation. From this moment forward, every time you speak what I have placed within you, the very sound will disturb darkness and release light. Your words will not be empty, they will be soaked in spirit, guided by truth, and ignited with clarity. They will carry weight beyond your reach. Rooms you step into will shift, not because of your volume, but because of the authority I am breathing through your tone. I'm amplifying what once seemed small. I'm giving strength to the sound that once faltered under doubt. Your voice won't just communicate, it will create. It will plant seeds in dry hearts. It will wake sleeping souls. It will restore identity to those who forgot who they were. I have not given you influence for entertainment, I've given it for impact. And every time you speak from the place of intimacy with me, something eternal will move. You will feel the change in the air when you release my word. You will watch eyes shift, hearts soften, atmospheres realign. Because it is not merely your speech, it is the overflow of a yielded spirit. And this voice I've raised in you, it will bypass resistance. It will cut through confusion. It will dismantle lies that have lived in people's minds for years. When you open your mouth under my leading, deliverance will follow. Chains will break in silence because the truth will hit like lightning. And you won't need to force it. You won't need to perform. You'll simply speak, and my spirit will do the rest. I will give you words in the moment. I will place phrases in your mouth that pierce without wounding, that convict without condemning, that build even while they break down falsehoods. Do not shrink from the call. Do not lower your tone to match the room. Do not edit my message to make it more palatable. Say what I give you. Release what burns within you. Because I did not raise your voice for comfort, I raised it for awakening. And yes, at times, it will feel like fire. At times, you will feel the tension rise as old systems resist the new sound. But I will shield you. I will speak before you and behind you. You will not be alone in this. Your voice is part of a heavenly wave. You are not the only one, but you are a necessary one. And where I send you, your sound will carry differently. People won't always understand what shifted, but they will feel the breaking of old chains when you speak. They will feel something they can't explain, because it's not from you, it's from me. So prepare your spirit. Keep your heart clean. Stay near to me, because your voice must always flow from a place of alignment. Do not let the praise of people distract you. Do not let their misunderstanding mute you. Stay faithful to the sound I've placed inside you. And watch what I do. Nations will shift because of your obedience. Generations will wake up because of one sentence. Strongholds will crumble not because of loudness, but because of obedience. What once felt like a whisper will now resound like thunder in the ears of those I'm calling home. So speak, my child. Speak boldly. Speak freely. Speak what I place inside your mouth, and watch how dead places begin to breathe again. For when your voice rises, carrying my truth, even silence must bow. There have been parts of your life that felt disjointed, like puzzle pieces that never seemed to fit, moments that seemed detached from each other, blessings interrupted by loss, progress followed by unexpected delays, relationships broken without warning. You stood in the middle of it all, wondering how anything meaningful could emerge from so much fragmentation. You questioned why you had to start over again and again, why the people you trusted walked away, why the path seemed to twist when all you asked for was straight direction. But now, I am weaving every isolated thread into a pattern that only I could create. I am taking what looked scattered, shattered, and senseless, and I am revealing its place in the bigger picture. You see separate seasons. I see a seamless story. You thought you were derailed, I was routing you. You thought you were losing time, I was layering purpose. I never left anything behind. Not the heartbreak, not the misstep, not the deeder. I preserved it all, not to remind you of pain, but to demonstrate that I don't waste anything placed in my hands. And now, I'm bringing it all together. You'll begin to notice that what once felt random will start to make sense. The people who exited will no longer sting your memory, because you will see how their absence made room for what you truly needed. The doors that stayed shut will no longer torment you, because new doors are opening with alignment you never had before. You are not stepping into a new thing at the cost of the old, you are stepping into a wholeness that includes everything I've redeemed. Your past isn't being erased, it's being restored. I'm not removing your history. I'm healing it so it no longer hinders your future. This is where restoration touches reality. This is where I show you that none of it was random. The broken friendships, the closed opportunities, the painful goodbyes, each one carried a seed that is now bearing fruit. Even the delays you resented are proving themselves as divine timing. And the people who thought they ended your story will now watch as I release the chapter they never saw coming. But this isn't about them, it's about you seeing that I've never stopped writing. My pen has always been active, and I am piecing together every place of loss, every silent prayer, every moment you almost gave up, into a testimony that radiates my sovereignty. You won't need to force reconciliation, it will flow. You won't need to strive for understanding, it will settle into your spirit like a missing piece returning home. The relationships I restore in this season will not be based on history, but on healing. And the ones that don't return were never meant to finish the journey with you, but I will bring peace, not pain, with their memory. You will walk with clarity, no longer questioning why some things had to fall apart. You will know that I was making space for what fits. I'm not simply gluing things back together, I'm making it new while preserving what was true. What you build next will be based on a solid foundation, not fractured pieces held together by survival. This will be wholeness, not hustle. Restoration, not repetition. The roles that once confused you, the dreams that felt lost, the assignments that seemed delayed, they're being reconnected, and you will see how it all belongs. Even the parts you once rejected will now carry meaning because I've breathed on them. I am reconciling what felt irreconcilable. I am returning joy where sorrow lingered too long. And I'm doing it in plain view, not for applause, but so your soul knows that I never left any part of your journey behind. Watch as I bring it all full circle. Watch as I do what only I can do, take what was scattered and make it sacred. There are faces you expected to see beside you forever, names that were once woven into every page of your life, voices you assumed would echo through every chapter. But over time, some drifted, some walked away, some broke what felt unbreakable. You questioned if you were the problem, if perhaps your journey wasn't worthy of company, if the silence left in their absence was proof that something was wrong with you. But I was never subtracting to diminish you, I was proving to prepare you. Every departure had purpose. Every disconnection was a decision shaped by wisdom you couldn't see in the moment. Not everyone could go where I was taking you. Some connections, though they once brought comfort, would have corrupted the calling maturing within you. You weren't being punished, you were being protected. I removed voices that could not handle your next level. I separated you from influences that would have drowned out mine. And though the loss pierced your heart, it preserved your purpose. Now, I am releasing divine alignments, replacements, not just for companionship, but for covenant. These will be people who see you through the lens of heaven, not through the filter of insecurity or competition. They won't try to shrink your light to protect their shadow. They won't walk away when your calling grows louder. These will be ones I have hand-selected, those whose presence will pour into you instead of depleting you. They'll speak life when you forget who you are. They'll pray with power when your strength falters. They will sharpen, not shadow. They will champion, not compete. And their arrival is not random, it is strategic. I've prepared their hearts for you while preparing your heart to receive them. These aren't seasonal friendships, these are mission-aligned connections. You won't need to force the bond or over-explain your passion. They'll understand your fire because they carry their own. And where once you felt alone in the weight of your assignment, you'll now feel supported not just emotionally, but spiritually. These people are not replacements to recreate what you lost, they are additions to fulfill what I promised. Their presence will not erase the pain of the ones who left, but they will heal the space those absences once wounded. I know how deeply you've longed to be seen, to be heard, to be known without needing to perform or prove. I have seen you hold back parts of yourself, dim your brilliance, question your worth, all because past connections mishandled your heart. But I am restoring your confidence in community. I'm showing you what true fellowship looks like. I'm not just sending people, I'm sending purpose through people. And you will know them when they arrive, not by their words, but by the peace that fills your spirit in their presence. There will be no striving, only recognition. Your soul will know. This is from the Lord. And with their arrival, the ache of what you lost will begin to fade, not forgotten, but redeemed. Even the memories will change. Where there was sorrow, there will now be clarity. Where there was confusion, there will now be understanding. You'll no longer resent the pruning, you will praise me for it. Because you will see that I didn't take away, I made space. And what I'm placing in that space is rich with destiny. These divine connections will not only bless you, they'll stretch you. They will call out the deeper waters in you. They will not let you settle. They will not let you shrink. They are not here to comfort the old, they are here to cultivate the new. And through them, you'll learn that alignment is more valuable than attachment. You'll begin to crave truth more than tradition, depth more than familiarity, impact more than impression. This is the shift from crowd to covenant, from noise to nurture, from draining to divine. So let go of who left. Bless them. Release them. And open your heart for who's coming. Because they are not just coming with companionship, they are coming with answers. I have walked you through long seasons of preparation, where every step felt like a crawl, every breakthrough came slowly, and every prayer seemed to stretch time instead of shortening it. But now, that pace is shifting. What once moved at the speed of struggle will now move at the speed of sovereignty. This acceleration will feel unfamiliar at first, not because you're unworthy of it, but because you've been trained in delay. You became used to waiting, accustomed to slow progress, conditioned by obstacles that made movement feel distant. But I never meant for you to remain in that rhythm permanently. It served its purpose. It taught you persistence. It refined your character. But now, the pace is changing, not due to chance, but because my appointed time has arrived, and I'm not just moving you forward, I'm moving you swiftly. And when I accelerate a thing, no human timeline can restrain it. The things that took others years to receive will come to you in a moment, not because of favor alone, but because of obedience. You honored me in the stillness. You trusted me in the slowness. And now, I'm rewarding you in the suddenly. You'll begin to notice it, a divine momentum rising beneath your feet. Doors opening faster than you expected. Yeses that come without resistance. Invitations that confirm what I whispered in the secret place. You will wonder, is this really happening? And I will answer, it's always been happening, now you're seeing it. Acceleration is not chaos. It is divine precision released at a pace that overrides normal process. You're not skipping steps, you're being lifted by grace. Don't let your mind talk you out of what your spirit knows is me. You're not being rushed, you're being realigned with my original pace for your life. The enemy slowed you down through warfare, distraction, discouragement, and delay tactics. But now, I'm removing every weight, every tether, every invisible dread. You're about to move like someone who's been released from chains. And you will not stumble when you run, because I have strengthened your legs in the waiting. You've been prepared for this urge. Your structure has been tested. Your endurance hath been forged. And now, you will ride the wind of my spirit into realms you once only dreamed about. It won't make sense to others. Some will say you're moving too fast. Some will question your pace. But you will know it's me, because the doors will align with your destiny and the fruit will validate the movement. You won't need to push anything open, I will swing it wide before you even knock. And even as I move fast, I will not rush you. I will move you swiftly but securely. You will be fastened in peace even as the landscape changes. You won't be dizzy from the speed, you will be sharpened by it. Because my acceleration doesn't bring confusion. It brings confirmation. You'll look at your calendar and see multiple answers stack on the same day. You'll begin to hear back-to-back testimonies that don't feel real, but they are. You've entered a season where what I do in a week will feel like what others wait for in years. Adoe or the momentum. Share it. Speak it. Let others know that I am still the God of divine reversals and rapid restoration. This speed is not just for you, it's for those watching, those still waiting, those who need proof that delay is not denial. I am giving you that testimony. You are becoming that example. So prepare your heart, Pack your faith. Keep your hands open. Because what I'm about to do, I will do quickly. And when you feel the suddenness, don't fear it. Run with it. Lean into it. Trust the wind I've placed beneath your feet. Acceleration is not coming, it has begun. The dry seasons, the lonely paths, the seemingly endless waiting, none of it was punishment, though it often felt that way. You looked around and saw others thriving while you were barely surviving, and the comparison made the silence feel louder. You cried out, wondering if I had forgotten your name, wondering if your purpose had been left behind in the dust of all the detours. But child, I lead no one into the wilderness without purpose. The wilderness was not meant to destroy you, it was designed to define you. You needed a place where the noise would fade, where the distractions would die off, and where your dependence on me would deepen. In the crowd, you would have heard many voices, but in the solitude, you learned to recognize mine. You were not hidden, you were being held. You were not lost, you were being led. The wilderness stripped away the things that couldn't go with you into the next season. Prying, approval addiction, fear of failure. All of it was confronted in the quiet places where no one was watching. And though you often begged to exit, I kept you there not to torment you, but to train you. I was teaching your heart to trust me when there was no proof of progress. I was anchoring your faith in who I am, not just in what I do. And now, as the next chapter unfolds, you will begin to see what the wilderness produced. The strength that came from surrender, the peace that came from pressing in, the wisdom that came from wrestling through the unknown. You are not coming out the same way you entered. You are emerging with eyes that see clearer, ears that hear sharper, and a spirit that no longer bows to pressure. The wilderness birthed something that ease never could: resilience. You now carry a depth that only comes from walking with me through the barren places. And tomorrow, when I begin to reveal what I was preparing all along, the pieces will finally begin to make sense. The delays will no longer feel cruel, they will feel sacred. The isolation will no longer sting, it will shine as proof that I was with you even when no one else was. Because the wilderness isn't where I leave you, it's where I meet you. It's where I reintroduce myself not just as Savior but as Sustainer. And you've learned that now. You've seen how I fed you when there was nothing left, how I carried you when you had no words, how I lifted your head when it bowed in despair. You may not have had clarity, but you had me. And that is the gift the wilderness gave you, an intimacy with me that no crowd could compete with. Tomorrow, the fruit of the desert will begin to bloom. Things you thought were dead will show signs of life. Paths you couldn't see will suddenly become clear. Doors you gave up knocking on will swing open on their own. Because the wilderness doesn't end with silence, it ends with release. And I am releasing you now, not into chaos but into calling. Not into noise but into purpose. The same wilderness that taught you how to be still will now propel you into movement. You will no longer resist the pace I've set, you will flow with it, because the desert trained your surrender. You won't fear the unfamiliar anymore, you'll lean into it, because you've already walked with me through harder ground. What once broke your faith now builds it. What once made you cry now causes you to rise. The wilderness didn't weaken you, it qualified you. And when they ask, how did you make it through all that? You will simply say, because God walked with me in the wilderness. And I did. Every step, every tear, every silent night, I was there. And now, you are ready for what I've always had prepared. You didn't lose time, you gained strength. You didn't miss your moment, you were molded for it. And tomorrow, as you step out of what once confined you, you'll see clearly. The wilderness wasn't a delay, it was destiny in disguise. You may still see the scars. You may still remember the nights when you could barely lift your head, but don't confuse that memory with weakness. What you carry now is not the exhaustion of survival, it is the quiet strength of someone who has been remade. You don't even realize the magnitude of the transformation because it didn't happen overnight. It happened in the silence, in the waiting, in the tension between promise and fulfillment. While others saw stillness, I was cultivating endurance. While you cried out wondering if you were going backward, I was moving you deeper. Deeper into identity. Deeper into purpose. Deeper into the realization that your value was never tied to pace, applause, or outward achievement. You shed layers you didn't know were suffocating you. You've been stripped of attachments that once defined you. You've been refined not to lose yourself, but to discover the version of you I always intended. The one who doesn't crumble under pressure. The one who no longer second guesses what I've spoken. The one who walks forward even when vision is clouded, because you've learned to trust my voice more than your sight. His strength doesn't look like shouting, it looks like peace that holds in the storm. It doesn't always look like confidence, it looks like resilience that gets up even when weary. The old you would have run from this moment uncertain and afraid. But look at you now. You don't flint like you used to. You don't collapse under uncertainty. You ask different questions now, not why me, but what's next, Lord? That shift is evidence of the growth you didn't notice while it was happening. Your prayers sound different now. Your posture is different. You no longer live on emotional highs, you found a deeper anchor. This is the kind of strength that doesn't need to prove anything, and just walks. It just obeys. It just continues. You don't wait for permission from people anymore, you wait for direction from me. You're no longer tossed by every opinion or thrown off course by minor winds. What once shook you now sharpens you. What once broke your rhythm now becomes fuel for deeper focus. That's strength, not loudness, not aggression, but steadiness. Stillness that isn't passive but rooted. I built this in you through every valley, every delay, every disappointment that tried to tell you it was over. And now, you will begin to walk with a new kind of authority. Not because you have more, but because you are more. You'll respond to things with wisdom that surprises you. You'll move with precision where you once hesitated. You'll sense deception before it gets close. You'll know when to speak and when to stay silent. And none of it came from striving, it came from surrender. You gave me your broken pieces and I forged them into armor. Not so you could build walls, but so you could walk without fear. You are not fragile anymore. You are not unsure. You are not lost. The journey did not break you, it built you. And the strength I've placed in you isn't seasonal, it's eternal. You will carry it into every assignment from this point on. And others will feel it not through your volume, but through your presence. They'll sense the depth, the maturity, the peace that can't be faked. Because you've lived through too much to be shaken by shadows. You've learned how to survive without bitterness, how to wait without giving up, how to trust without knowing every answer. You are not who you used to, it came quickly, without warning, the season that shook everything familiar, the winds that roared so loud you couldn't hear your own thoughts, the waves that rose higher than your confidence. You reached for stability, but everything under your feet gave way. People disappeared. Resources dried up. What once felt secure was suddenly fragile. You felt yourself sinking, grasping for breath in a sea of uncertainty. And you cried out, not once, but over and over, wondering if help would come before it was too late. But in that moment of desperation, I came closer than ever. Not to pull you away from the storm, but to teach you how to move through it. You learn not just how to survive, but how to stand. Not on comfort, but on my word. Not on circumstances, but on presence. The same waters that threatened to swallow you became the very surface I taught you to tread. Because storms don't scare me, they serve me. And I use that chaos as your classroom. You didn't realize it then, but every tear trained your eyes to see me more clearly. Every shaking taught your soul to listen deeper. You had to lose your grip on the boat to learn how to trust the steps I called you into. It wasn't the storm that defined you, it was the decision to step anyway. And now, what once terrified you no longer paralyzes you. You've been through too much to be intimidated by when. You've seen me too clearly to question whether I'll come through. Your balance has been refined. Your spiritual ears are tuned. You've stopped asking for the storm to end and started asking where to walk next. That is growth. That is power. That is the evidence of my Spirit strengthening you through struggle. Others may only see the peace you now carry, but I know what it cost. I know how many nights you cried when no one knew. I know the secret fears that kept you up, the invisible battles you fought with trembling hands. But I turned every wave into weight that built your endurance. I didn't calm the sea because I was too late. I kept it wild long enough for you to discover that I don't just operate in peace. I reveal myself in pressure. And now, as the wind quiets, I want you to look down, not with fear, but with awe. You are walking on what once overwhelmed you. You are standing where you once fell. Not because you're strong in yourself, but because you didn't let go of my hand. You clung to me in the middle of the unknown, and I brought you forward. Others left when the storm hit. You stayed. Others panicked when the water rose. You listened. And that's why you're still here, because you learned the difference between panic and purpose. You learned to keep your eyes on me, not on the waves. And now, every step you take will be a declaration that storms don't have the final word. Faith does. You will begin to notice people coming to you not for sympathy, but for strategy. They'll ask how you survived what tried to take you under. And you'll answer, I didn't just survive. I learned how to walk. You'll become a guide for others still gasping for air. You'll carry peace into panic-filled rooms. Not because the storm never came, but because it couldn't keep you from discovering your authority. The storm trained you. It developed your pace. It shaped your prayer life. And taught your voice to carry weight. You no longer speak as a victim of the winds. You speak as someone who learned to move with the wind of my Spirit. So don't curse that season. Don't mourn it as wasted. It gave you more than it took. It gave you wisdom, strength, power. And now, with every step you take on water, the storm bows beneath your feet. Keep walking. Keep rising. You've been promoted by the pressure. While you were busy holding your peace in visible situations, I was warring for you in the unseen. There were traps laid that you never stepped into, not because you were alert, but because I rerouted your steps. There were schemes formed in silence to delay your progress, distort your perception, and exhaust your hope, but I shattered them before they touched you. You felt resistance, yes, but you didn't see the full weight of what was meant to hit. Because I intercepted it. I dismantled the devices of darkness that tried to weave confusion into your direction. You thought the delay was coincidence, but it was protection. That detour wasn't punishment, it was strategy. There were conversations you never heard, decisions made behind closed doors that would have devastated your next move, but I overturned them before they reached you. Not with loud thunder, but with the quiet force of my justice. I stood in between you and destruction. I redirected the aim of arrows before they struck. I dismantled structures built to collapse on your confidence. And even though you didn't see the battle, I've now brought you to the place where you will see the evidence of the win. You're entering a season where victories will seem sudden, but they were not sudden to me. They were secured before time began. This is not breakthrough by surprise, it's fulfillment by design. You will walk into rooms you didn't campaign for. You'll receive opportunities you didn't chase. You'll see favor fall in places where your name was never supposed to be mentioned. Not because of manipulation or effort, but because I went before you. The victory you're stepping into now is not fragile. It's been forged through fire, through prayers you forgot you prayed, through tears you never thought I counted, through nights when your silence was a stronger declaration of trust than any speech you could give. I counted those moments. I covered you in them. And now I crown you with the fruit of what was fought for behind the veil. I am pulling back the curtain so you can see what I see, that the enemy didn't win, and depression didn't define you, that the setback didn't disqualify you, that the betrayal didn't remove my promise. What the enemy meant as an ambush, I've turned into your anointing. What was sent to wound you has become the proof that I defend what is mine. Don't mistake peace for a lack of warfare. Don't assume silence means nothing is shifting. I move in dimensions your eyes cannot perceive. I maneuver in realms where the most dangerous battles happen without sound. And now that the smoke has cleared, I'm letting you step out into land you didn't even know was being prepared for your feet. You are not walking in luck, you are walking in all-one victory. I didn't just block the attacks, I reversed them. I didn't just delay the enemy's plan, I dismantled his blueprints completely. What was spoken against you is falling to the ground, powerless. What was written about you lies of being were written in my truth. I am placing a banner of victory over your life that no accusation can tear down. And this is not just for you. It is for those watching, wondering how you made it. You will be a walking testimony not just of endurance, but of divine protection. Your peace will speak louder than your defense. Your progress will answer every false report. Your posture will declare, my God has already won. So don't waste energy explaining how you survived. Just keep moving forward. Just keep building. Keep praising. Keep showing up. Because what you're walking in now is the result of a battle I already finished. Let the calm confuse the enemy. Let your joy disrupt what was meant to destroy. This is not the aftermath of struggle, it's the unfolding of my triumph. I did not bring you this far to expose you. I brought you here to establish you. Victory is not coming, it's been yours all along. You're just now seeing it manifest. There are places I am sending you that will not respond to titles, connections, or credentials. They will not move for systems or traditions. These places, these assignments will only open at the sound of obedience. And that is why I have placed within you spiritual keys, authority forged in intimacy, weight carved from worship, and discernment sharpened through hiddenness. You didn't ask for these keys in prayer by name, but I gave them as you walked faithfully with me when no one else saw the cost. Every yes you whispered in secret, every time you chose me over approval, every time you turned down the easy path for the Holy One, I placed another key in your hands. And now, you are not just stepping into rooms, you're opening them. You're not just entering atmospheres, you're shifting them. You carry access because you carry alignment. You didn't manufacture influence, you inherited it by staying close to me when it would have been easier to run. These keys are not visible to man, but they are recognized in the spirit realm. That's why resistance increased when you began to understand your assignment. That's why opposition intensified when you stopped settling and started moving with precision. Hell noticed when you reached for the handle of doors that had long been shut. But what hell cannot stop is a child of God who knows what they carry. And you do. You've been tested, refined. You know the weight of glory and the weight of silence. You know what it feels like to walk with nothing but a promise and yet still speak peace to every room you enter. That's the kind of key I've given you, one that unlocks healing with a whisper, one that releases wisdom with a single question, one that breaks spiritual strongholds with a sentence spoken in love. And you won't always understand why you were the one chosen to carry this access. You'll look around and see others more polished, more positioned, more popular. But I didn't choose you based on visibility, I chose you based on surrender. You didn't push your way forward. You let me lead. And because you let me shape you in the background, I can now trust you in the foreground. You are going to begin to notice doors open that never budged for others. Opportunities others chased will come find you. Not because you earned them, but because you're carrying the exact key they respond to. You'll walk into rooms and not need to introduce yourself, your spirit will announce you. The anointing I've placed on you will do the talking. You'll find yourself in conversations you never could have orchestrated, in circles you didn't network your way into. Because I open what no man can shut. And when I give keys, they don't rust, they activate. But don't grow comfortable. These keys aren't trophies, they're tools. They're not for display, they're for kingdom building. Use them with humility. Use them with reverence. Don't try to force doors open that I haven't yet led you to. Wait on my instruction. I will show you which key to use and when to use it. Sometimes I'll say, speak now, and other times be silent. Trust me in both. Sometimes I'll lead you into places that seem too broken to restore, but those are the places your key was made for. You'll find that what didn't respond to years of effort will yield instantly to your voice, because you are moving in my authority, not your ambition. I've given you this access not just for yourself, but for others. You'll unlock doors for families, for ministries, for entire regions. You'll unlock people bound by fear, people stuck in cycles, people too weary to believe again. You will not only carry keys, you will become a key. And everywhere you go, locked things will begin to move. Don't downplay it. Don't ignore it. You asked me to use you, and this is what it looks like. Wide power. Unseen authority. Doors swinging wide not because of pressure but because of presence. The keys are already in your hands. Now watch what opens. There were struggles waiting for you along this journey that I never spoke about ahead of time, not because I wanted to surprise you with pain, but because I trusted what I had already planted in you. You assumed you were walking into blessings, and you were, but you also stepped into battlefields that required strength you didn't think you had. You thought you needed more preparation, more affirmation, more time. But I knew what was in you. I knew what had been cultivated in the wilderness, buried deep beneath your weariness. I didn't wait for you to feel ready. I called you because I knew you were ready in ways you didn't yet see. The battles came, unannounced and unrelenting. You felt the weight, the pressure, the silence that mocked your progress. You questioned your endurance. You doubted your authority. But still you stood. Even trembling, you stood. Even weeping, you stayed. And that, child, is proof that my equipping runs deeper than your emotions. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. You only need to keep moving forward when everything says to turn back. You don't have to shout to walk in power. Your obedience speaks volumes in the spirit. You thought the fight would disqualify you, but it's the very thing confirming you're walking in purpose. The enemy doesn't pursue the empty. He attacks what's valuable. He resists what carries weight. And you do. You may not see it, but hell does. That's why the pressure increased as you got closer to breakthrough. That's why the warfare hit hardest when you finally said yes without conditions. It wasn't because you were weak, it was because your yes was about to unlock something generational. And now, having faced what you did and still choosing me, you've crossed a threshold. You stepped into authority forged not by knowledge alone, but by fire. And fire doesn't destroy what I've called, it refines it. The weapons formed against you did not prosper. They were launched. They were aimed. But they failed. Not because you had all the answers, but because you had me. I stood between you and collapse. I held you when strength left your body. I whispered truth when your thoughts were crowded by lies. And now, you are not just surviving, you're being promoted through the very thing that tried to take you out. That's what happens when I equip someone. What was meant to break you builds you instead. Your scars become sermons. Your setbacks become strategy. Your voice becomes sharper, not because you're angry, but because you've been in battle and came out carrying wisdom. You didn't just pass a test, you stepped into a manual. A new level of responsibility. Yes, but also a new level of covering. I will no longer allow certain attacks to reach you because they've served their purpose. You learned what they came to teach. And now, you will fight differently. With discernment. With clarity. With the knowledge that I am backing you. This equipping wasn't just about resilience, it was about releasing what I've placed inside you. Others will feel the difference. You'll walk into rooms and sense when to speak and when to remain still. You'll see behind words and discern motives. You'll lead not from the need to be seen, but from the burden to serve. You'll walk with a weight that doesn't exhaust, but establishes. Because now, you've been tested. And the anointing that rests on tested hands is not something that can be imitated. So move forward, child, not with fear, but with fire. You've been trained in the dark to carry light into places that have long resisted it. You've been taught in pain how to heal others without even opening your mouth. You've been equipped to walk through doors with more than potential. You walk in with power. And the battles ahead will not frighten you like before. Because you know now, you are never alone. You are never unprepared. You are not lacking anything I haven't already provided. Lift your head, square your shoulders, and take your next step. What you carry is enough. Who you've become is enough. I am with you. I have equipped you. And nothing formed against you will ever change that. There are things you held dear that were stripped away before you had the chance to understand why. Roles, relationships, resources, each one disappeared like sand slipping through your fingers, leaving you grasping for answers in a silence that seemed unfair. You mourned deeply. You tried to move on, but part of your heart was still anchored in what once was. You told yourself to be content with the memory, to accept the void, to live with the gap as part of your story. But I never asked you to settle for survival. I never intended for you to define your future by what you lost. Because I'm not just the God who heals, I'm the God who restores. And when I restore, I don't just return, I increase. I'm not coming back to your life with replicas, I'm releasing what's greater than what you imagined was taken. You assumed that chapter had ended forever, that certain dreams would always remain in the past tense. But child, what you didn't see was that I was removing the version that couldn't hold the weight of where I'm taking you. What you lost wasn't just removed, it was released, so your hands could be free to carry what's next. I never take without preparing a greater filling. I never close without crafting a better opening. And now, the shift is beginning. Quietly, but powerfully, I'm returning wholeness in places that once only knew emptiness. You will begin to feel it not as a dramatic arrival, but as a steady unfolding. Moments of clarity. People sent with divine purpose. Opportunities so perfectly timed that your spirit will know. This didn't come from man, this came from God. This restoration is not random, it's targeted. I am returning joy in the places sorrow pitched its tent. I'm rebuilding trust where betrayal tried to define you. I'm restoring confidence where rejection tore holes. I'm not painting over wounds, I'm healing them from the inside out. And what I'm bringing back into your life won't be fragile. It won't be conditional. It won't carry the cracks of your past. It will be whole. Holy. Held together by my hand and my timing. You will not need to pretend it's enough, it will be more than enough. You won't need to fight to keep it, it will rest in your life with peace. What was once broken will now become a blessing. What was stolen will be restored sevenfold, not just in quantity, but in quality. And hear me clearly, this restoration is not your reward for suffering. It's your inheritance as my child. I'm not blessing you because you earned it, I'm blessing you because I love you. Because you stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. Because you kept praying even when your voice trembled. Because you kept trusting me through unanswered questions. And now, I'm restoring in such a way that you will forget the former pain, not because the memory disappears, but because the joy will be greater. The tears you cried in the dark will be matched with laughter that echoes in the light. The parts of you that felt like they died will bloom again with strength and purpose. You will soon step into moments where you look around and whisper, I never thought this could be mine again. But this time, it's not coming with fear of loss. It's coming with rootedness. You'll receive with open hands, not clenched fists. You'll carry what's new with freedom, not anxiety. Because this is the kind of restoration only I can do, the kind that brings peace, not pressure. The kind that surprises you with beauty where ashes once remained. The kind that makes the weight make sense. And when people ask what changed, you will simply say, the Lord gave back what I never imagined I could hold again. So lift your eyes. The chapter is not over. The story is not finished. What you thought was done is returning, and it's coming back transformed. And so are you. Long before you ever thought you were qualified, I had already begun conversations about you in places you've never been. While you were questioning your worth, I was planting your name in the hearts of decision makers, leaders, and gatekeepers who don't even know why they're drawn to you yet. You think no one sees your obedience, your integrity, the hours you've sown in silence, but I have seen. And I have honored it not just with spiritual reward, but with strategic placement. This next season isn't about you striving to be seen. It's about me revealing you in places where favor has already been established on your behalf. You don't need to network your way into destiny. You don't need to fight for a seat. The room I'm taking you to already has your chair set. They won't be able to explain why they trust you, they just will. That's what divine favor looks like. It overrides earthly logic. It silences human hierarchy. It makes space where systems said there was none. You've been hidden not because you were forgotten, but because I was preparing the space. Had you arrived earlier, the room wouldn't have received you. But now, they are ready. And so are you. You're no longer operating from the place of needing to prove yourself. You don't have to explain why you belong. Your presence will carry the answer. They'll sense it in your spirit, feel it in your words, and know it in their hearts. Because you're not walking in with ego, you're walking in with evidence. The evidence of one who's been with me, of one who's walked through fire but carries peace, of one who's been rejected by man but chosen by God. Your humility will speak louder than any resume. Your clarity will cut through noise. You won't need to posture or pretend. You'll simply enter the room and alignment will follow. These doors are not just career-based or platform-driven, they're relational, spiritual, generational. I'm introducing your voice to rooms that are weary of noise. I'm placing your heart before people who crave authenticity. And I'm doing it with a speed you didn't expect. One day soon, you will receive a message, a call, a knock, something that feels sudden, but is really just the next step of what I've already set in motion. Don't hesitate when it comes. Don't wonder if you're worthy. Walk into that room like someone sent, not someone searching. Because you are being sent, carried by my spirit, surrounded by my grace, protected by my favor. You'll notice the difference. Where you once felt small, you will now feel secure. Where you once stuttered, you will speak clearly. The old you would have questioned if you belonged. The you I've raised through fire will walk in with quiet boldness. And even in that room, you won't need to shout. I'll do the amplifying. You just need to stay yielded. Stay listening. Stay humble. Because I'm not just placing you there to be seen, I'm placing you there to sow, to shift, to speak life. You carry something they don't even know they need yet. And when it's your moment, the words will flow. The wisdom will rise. The anointing will rest heavy. And those in the room will remember, not because you impressed them, but because you impacted them. That's what happens when I send my own. The atmosphere doesn't just shift, the people do. So prepare your heart, not with anxiety, but with expectation. Iron your spirit with faith. Tune your ears to my whisper. The room is ready. And so are you. Not because of what you've done, but because of who I am in you. I've gone before you. I've spoken your name. I've opened the door. Now walk in. And when you do, carry me with every step. Because where I've placed you is not just for your gain, it's for my glory. And when they ask how you got there, just tell them the truth. God sent me. You've walked through seasons where everything felt buried, your gifts, your voice, your influence, even your sense of identity. It was as if you were invisible, wrapped in layers of waiting, unnoticed by those around you. You watched others being chosen, celebrated, called forward while you remained in the background, your presence overlooked, your value questioned. But child, I never hid you to punish you. I concealed you to preserve you. I kept you in the shadow not to withhold light, but to strengthen your roots in the dark. For what I am about to bring forth through you is too weighty, too sacred, too impactful to be built on shallow foundations. The time of hiddenness was never wasted, it was holy. It was where I refined your motives, tested your endurance, purified your intentions, and deepened your understanding of me. And now, the veil is lifting. What was once unseen is beginning to emerge. Slowly at first, like the first light at dawn, but it will grow. I am drawing out what I deposited in silence. You will begin to feel it stir like a current beneath the surface. Dreams that once felt out of reach will start to breathe again. Assignments that felt distant will draw near with clarity. You won't need to chase them. They will rise to meet you because the timing is finally aligned. The places where you felt buried will become places where I build. You are not coming out empty, you are coming out equipped. Every hour you spent in obscurity has prepared you for impact. You've grown not upward for visibility, but downward for stability. And now that your roots are firm, the fruit can flourish. There is a flow that will come from you that others cannot explain. Not manufactured, not mimicked, not rehearsed, pure, powerful, prophetic. It will come through your words, your presence, your decisions, even your silence. People will sense something different about you and not be able to put it into words. What they're sensing is me, alive and active through you. The hidden well I've carved within you is now overflowing, not to impress, but to pour. You are a vessel, filled to the brim with living water, ready to refresh dry lands and awaken dormant places in others. Your life will become evidence that hidden does not mean forgotten. That so does not mean stuck. That silence is not the absence of me, but often the preparation for my loudest move. And don't be surprised when the very ones who once overlooked you now look to you for direction. Not because of position, but because of power. Not from a place of superiority, but from a well of authority gained in the secret place. You will not need to prove yourself, they will recognize the oil. You will not need to explain your journey, the fruit will speak. And the impact will not just touch those around you, it will ripple into generations. Because this isn't a personal rise, it's a generational awakening. You were hidden so that others could one day be found through your obedience. You were pulled back so that when I release you, you would launch with divine momentum. So don't resent the hidden place. Don't mourn the years that seem silent. Celebrate them. For in that quiet, I was crafting something eternal. I was planting purpose that could withstand pressure. I was speaking identity that didn't rely on applause. And now, as you emerge, remember this. You are not leaving the hidden place, you are carrying it with you. The intimacy, the stillness, the closeness with me, that is what makes you unshakable. That is what gives your rise meaning. I am not just making you seen, I am making you sent. Sent with a sound that breaks chains. Sent with a light that exposes lies. Sent with a presence that carries peace. You are not just stepping forward, you are being unveiled. And what comes forth will not be a version of you shaped by expectation, it will be the real you, shaped by encounter. The hidden place has done its work. Now let the purpose flow. You've walked through moments that didn't go how you hoped, doors you thought I opened that never stayed open, plans you pursued that ended in disappointment, steps of faith that seemed to lead you in circles. At times, those experiences left you hesitant, almost ashamed to revisit them. You've carried the sting of those moments quietly, wondering if perhaps you misheard me, or if you missed something essential along the way. But child, what you didn't realize is that I never defined you by those failures. I saw them coming before you ever stepped forward, and I still chose you. I still called you. I still planned around every detour. Not because I condone defeat, but because I redeem it. I take what others would discard and I raise it into something sacred. What looked like wasted time, missed opportunities, or dead ends, I am now transforming those very places into altars that declare my goodness. Not altars of regret, but of remembrance. Not tombstones of loss, but milestones of grace. Those former failures, those chapters you tried to bury, are not being erased. They are being rewritten. I will not cover them with shame. I will cover them with my glory. Because the world needs to see what it looks like when a child of mine returns to the very ground that once marked them with pain and plants a flag of victory. And that is what I am doing with you. You are going to stand in places that once humbled you and carry a new posture. You won't shrink back in embarrassment, you'll lift your head with testimony. The memories that once stirred insecurity will now stir praise. The moments you thought disqualified you will now magnify my mercy. And as you walk back into these places, be they physical spaces, relationships, roles, or responsibilities, you will feel it, a shift, a healing, a reclaiming. What was once the site of your surrender will now become the platform of your rise. Because I never saw those failures as final. I saw them as formative. The enemy tried to label them with shame, tried to convince you that you lost something that could never be restored. But I stepped in. I placed my hand on what looked broken beyond use, and I said, "Watch me build again." And not just restore, upgrade. What I bring back into your life will be sturdier, deeper, richer, because now it is being built on wisdom, not assumption. On dependence, not pride. On partnership with me, not pressure to perform. You no longer move from ambition, you move from abiding. You no longer make decisions to prove something, you move in alignment with me. So do not fear walking back into the places you thought would always carry the echo of failure. I'm going with you. In fact, I've already gone before you. I've softened hearts. I've shifted atmospheres. I've prepared the ground for your return. This is not about repeating the past, it's about redeeming it. I will not let your pain go unused. I will not let your missteps define your legacy. When I write your story, I don't edit out the hard parts, I use them as the strongest chapters. And you will speak from them not with tears of defeat, but with tears of joy. You'll say, "I thought it was over here, but God began again." And others will watch. They will see you in the same places where you once stumbled, and they will marvel at the transformation. Not at your strength, but at mine. They will say, "Only God could have done this." And they'll be right. Because it won't be your strategy that changes the narrative, it will be my spirit. It won't be your explanation that convinces them, it will be the evidence of peace radiating from you. The calm in your countenance. The power in your presence. The grace in your words. So walk back in, child. Not in fear. In freedom. The place of failure is now the place of fulfillment. I am rebuilding what you thought was too far gone. I'm resurrecting what you thought was buried. And from this day forward, you will never look at those places the same. They will forever be altars, holy reminders that I never waste anything surrendered to me. You've been carrying more than you show. The weight hasn't always been physical, but spiritual responsibilities you never asked for, pressures you couldn't share, expectations that grew louder while your strength quietly faded. You've smiled in rooms where your soul was sinking. You've continued pouring even when your cup was nearly empty. And though others may have mistaken your endurance for ease, I saw every moment when it took everything in you just to keep going. But child, I never created you to sustain yourself. I didn't anoint you to live on the edge of burnout. I'm not impressed by your exhaustion, I'm inviting you into restoration. What I am offering now is not just a pause in the chaos. It's a divine exchange. I am trading your weariness for a supernatural rest that does more than refill your energy, it rewires your rhythm. You are not meant to just catch your breath, you are meant to breathe deeply again. This rest won't come through inactivity, it will come through intimacy. I'm calling you back into the quiet place, not because you're behind, but because you're burdened. Not because you failed, but because you've been faithful. And even faithfulness requires refilling. I want to teach you how to dwell, not just how to endure. I want to show you how to sit with me without needing to earn your place. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to carry everyone. Let me carry you. Let me restore what the battle wore down. Let me remind you that your value is not in what you do, it's in who you are to me. You are not just my servant, you are my beloved. You are not just called, you are cared for. And I care too much to watch you run on fumes, applauded by people but depleted within. This kind of rest will reset everything. It will clear the fog that's made decisions feel overwhelming. It will soften the tension that's settled into your body. It will restore joy where duty has dulled it. I am not calling you into a break so you can return to the same pace, I am rewriting your entire rhythm. You'll notice your capacity change you. What once drained you will no longer touch you the same. What once kept you up at night will now meet your calm instead of your concern. This is not laziness, it's alignment. You were not created to live constantly in fight or flight. You were made to abide, to rest and trust and move only at the speed of my grace. Some won't understand this shift. They've known you as someone who always says yes, always takes on more, always presses through. But now I am teaching you how to discern the weight of what's truly yours to carry. Not every good thing is your assignment. Not every open door is your calling. Rest gives you clarity. It shows you what is truly me and what is just movement. And from this rest, you will gain more than strength, you will gain strategy. You'll no longer build from pressure, but from peace. You'll no longer push just to keep up, you will walk in sync with me. Don't resist this rest. Don't fill the quiet with noise. Don't fear the slow days. I dwell in them. I speak in them. I heal in them. Let me have this moment with you, not so you can be more useful later, but so you can be more whole now. This rest will reach deep places that no amount of sleep ever touched. It will read your thoughts, your posture, your pace, your breathing. You'll laugh again without force. You'll create again without comparison. You'll lead again without limping. And when people ask what changed, you won't say you took a vacation. You'll say you finally let God hold you. And that holding made all the difference. Because I'm not just giving you rest, I'm giving you back yourself. The version of you that lives fully, trusts deeply, moves gently, and shines freely. This is the rebuild. Not just of strength, but of soul. And it begins now, in this stillness, where I am closer than your next breath. Not every door that opens is meant to be walked through. Not every hand that reaches for you is sent by me. Some things that look like favor are actually detours in disguise, designed not to bless, but to blur. You've been presented with options lately, some of which seemed good on the surface. Invitations, connections, promotions, ideas that appeared aligned with your goals. But I've stirred an unrest in your spirit, not to confuse you, but to protect you. Because this season isn't about doing more, it's about doing what's mine. I'm not calling you to chase what's popular or urgent. I'm anchoring you in what's eternal and purposed. And that means there are things I'm now removing. Things that seem promising, but are pulling you off center. Voices that once sounded affirming, but are now echoing noise. I'm cutting through the fog so you can see clearly again. And clarity will often feel like loss at first, until you realize what I'm removing wasn't feeding your destiny. It was feeding your distraction. You've matured too much to keep watering what I never asked you to grow. You've been refined through too many fires to settle for assignments that don't carry my fire. You may still feel the tug of obligation, the temptation to keep saying yes to everything out of guilt or fear. But listen closely, I am unyoking you from that weight. You are no longer responsible to manage people's expectations over my voice. The pressure to maintain what's no longer aligned is being broken. You are free. Free to let go of what's no longer yours. Free to decline without explanation. Free to choose peace over performance. I'm not pruning your life to punish you. I'm doing it to preserve your purity of focus. Because the next part of your assignment will require laser-like attention, not scattered motion. It will demand discernment over desire, conviction over convenient. You've asked me for guidance, and now I'm answering, not always with confirmation, but with separation. I'm pulling you away from what would have diluted your influence. I'm severing ties that would have tangled your time. I'm closing doors that would have drained your energy. You may not understand all the no's right now, but you will soon. You'll look back and see that I spared you not from hardship, but from being entangled in something beneath your calling. And yes, it may be tempting to mourn while I'm removing. But remember, I only take what you're willing to surrender. This is not loss, it's alignment. What's coming into your life next won't compete for your attention. It will complement your assignment. You won't have to bend your values to keep it. You won't have to silence your convictions to hold on to it. It will fit without forcing. It will add without asking you to subtract me. This is the sacred part of the process, the consecration, where I set you apart so I can use you fully. Not halfway, not distracted, not double-minded, but fixed, focused, and faithful. And this kind of focus will offend those who were comfortable with your availability. Some will misinterpret your silence. Others will assume your shift means you've changed. And they'll be right, you have. You've changed because you've chosen to be led instead of liked. You've chosen obedience over opinion. And that choice is building a foundation I can trust. You're no longer led by impulse. You're led by instruction. And that means not everything deserves access to your time, your mind, or your spirit. So let the separation happen. Don't fight what I'm cutting away. Don't chase what I'm closing. Stay close to me. Stay soft, stay listening. Because I am not just guiding you into what's next, I am protecting you from what could have poisoned it. I'm not just a God who gives, I'm a God who guards. And I am guarding your purpose, even when that means guarding it from your own distractions. Soon you'll see the fruit. Soon you'll thank me for every door I didn't let you enter. And you'll walk in clarity, free from the weight of what wasn't yours, fully engage in what is. You've wondered why your heart feels burdened when others seem comfortable, why certain words grieve you, why silence in injustice stings more than applause and approval, why your spirit tenses when compromise is celebrated. It's because I have shaped your voice for something more than echoing the room it's been fashioned to shift it. You were never meant to blend in. You were never made to merely agree. You've been entrusted with a truth that doesn't come with a stage, it comes with a cost. And I'm sending you not to be loud, but to be luminous. Not to impress, but to impact. The rooms I'm placing you in are filled with polished opinions, but they lack prophetic clarity. And I'm not sending you there for debate, I'm sending you there for deliverance. Not through force, but through presence. Through word birthed in prayer. Through courage clothed in humility. You don't need to manufacture influence to be heard. I've already positioned your voice where it needs to be. What you carry cannot be marketed because it is weighty with heaven's substance. It breaks chains, not by volume, but by truth delivered in obedience. And yes, there will be resistance. The moment you open your mouth, darkness will recognize the authority behind your breath. That's why the enemy tried to silence you before you even realized what you carried. That's why your confidence has been under attack. That's why insecurity lingered when you stood to speak, because your voice isn't just expressive, it's explosive in the spirit. You carry fire, not for destruction but for purification. Your words will not just correct, they will call forth. They will not just confront, they will confirm. People will weep, not because you spoke harshly, but because they'll feel chains breaking even in your gentleness. And I will teach you what to say. You will need to rehearse your worth. You won't need to craft a perfect sentence. I will fill your mouth with words that unlock hearts. In meetings, in whispers, in public forums and private circles, I will use your voice to realign what has drifted into passivity. I will cause what you say to linger long after you've left the room. Not because of charisma, but because it carried my breath. And you will begin to see the fruit not in applause, but in awakening. And conviction that leads to change. In lives that return to me because your words serve as a compass. You'll speak what others are afraid to admit. And they'll thank you not for challenging them, but for freeing them. You will dismantle deception gently and rebuild hope firmly. But you must stay close. You must stay pure. This voice is not your own, it is borrowed from heaven. You must protect it from becoming familiar. From using it to impress rather than impart. From speaking from offense rather than overflow. The more you stay hidden in me, the louder your words will ring in the spirit. And you'll learn when to speak and when to stay silent, because even your silence will carry weight when I ordain it. Some rooms won't receive you right away. Don't be discouraged. You are not called to be popular, you are called to be prophetic. And prophets don't measure success by applause, but by obedience. By the courage to speak when it's inconvenient. By the humility to speak when it costs you your comfort. You are my voice in places that have grown too used to echoes. You are my reminder that truth, when wrapped in love, pierces deeper than the sharpest critique. And I am with you. I will never send you alone. I will guard your tongue, guide your tone, and ground your message in my mercy. Because this voice of yours, it is mine. And together, we will bring light where shadows reign too long. Speak, a child. They are not just listening, they are waiting. You've been faithful in the quiet. You served when no one clapped. You've interceded when it felt like your voice barely moved the air. You stood in obedience even when no one acknowledged it. You've built with trembling hands, prayed with tear-stained cheeks, and chosen righteousness when compromise would have been applauded. And while the world looked away, I leaned in. I watched every hidden yes. I recorded every unseen sacrifice. And now, I am pulling back the veil. What I formed in private is about to be revealed in power. This is not a moment of arrival, it's a moment of unveiling. The weight you carry, the oil you've been pressed for, the clarity born from crushing, it's about to surface, not as a flash, but as a force. And it will not be missed. The same people who overlooked you will be the ones who ask how it all changed so suddenly. But you will know it was never sudden. It was sacred. The world is just now catching up to what I've long been doing in the shadows. This unveiling is not for validation, it's for impact. I'm not making you visible for attention's sake, but for assignment's sake. You carry something that is no longer allowed to be hidden. There are people, regions, atmospheres that are waiting for the release of what I've placed in you. You didn't work your way into this. You didn't network your way into favor. You grew into it by staying planted in me. And now, the fruit is visible. The favor is evident. The anointing is unmistakable. You'll begin to hear people say, I don't know what it is about you. That's how my glory speaks. It moves past understanding and into impact. It's not personality, it's presence. You didn't become more appealing, you became more available. And now, I'm using what you thought was too small, too hidden, too plain, to carry the undeniable. The shift will be visible, but it will not be loud. It will be undeniable, but it will carry peace. You will walk into places you used to pray for and realize the room now recognizes what you carry. Not by name, not by title, but by spirit. You've been marked. And my mark doesn't fade. It doesn't require spotlight. It carries its own weight. You will not need to announce what's happening, I will. I will open the mouths of those who once had nothing to say. I will cause the platforms to find you. I will turn the eyes of those who once turned away. But hear me. This is not the moment to posture or pretend. This is the moment to stay grounded. The same posture that protected you in obscurity must preserve you in visibility. Keep coming to me. Keep worshiping like it's still the secret place. Keep listening like your next breath depends on my whisper. Because it does. You will begin to see opportunities chase you that you once thought were beyond you. But they were never beyond you, they were just waiting for the right time. And this is it. My calendar is not late. My timing is not flawed. You are walking into the manifestation of promises you almost gave up believing. And you will not need to hustle to keep them. What I start, I sustain. What I elevate, I establish. And what I reveal, I also cover. Your name is not just being mentioned in rooms, it is being written into divine assignments. What's undeniable about this moment is not that you've been seen, it's that I've chosen to reveal what I've been shaping all along. So don't look back with regret. Don't carry the weight of who didn't believe in you. They weren't supposed to. They weren't meant to be your confirmation. I was. And now, as I make the unseen visible, as I transform the hidden into the heralded, stay low. Stay close. Because this next chapter is not about elevation, it's about embodiment. You are becoming what I whispered years ago. You are walking in the fullness of a word that outlived the warfare. You are living proof that what's undeniable always starts in the unseen. You've been carrying pieces that didn't seem to fit, tasks without clarity, relationships without stability, responsibilities that pulled in too many directions. You've asked me, Lord, what do I hold on to? What do I release? What is purpose and what is pressure? And though you've kept moving, your soul has longed for alignment. Not just to be busy, but to be built. Not just to be used, but to be established. And now I am answering not with another assignment, but with order. I am stepping into your inner world like a skilled builder who doesn't just rearrange furniture, he redefines the foundation. You've had too many priorities competing for the same space. You've been giving to things that were never meant to demand so much of you. And I am not scolding you, I am rescuing you. I'm clearing the clutter, not to reduce your life, but to realign it with heaven's blueprint. You've survived in chaos long enough. You've normalized stress. You've adjusted to instability. But I didn't create you to live in spiritual disarray. I created you to walk in authority, rooted and focused, fully aware of what is yours to carry and what is not. Some of the pressure weighing on you was never assigned to you. Some of the people depending on you were never sent by me. Some of the doors you're keeping open were never opened by my hand. And I love you too much to let you continue living in a swirl of good intentions without clear instruction. That's why I'm moving now. Not to make your life smaller, but to make it streamlined. Not to take away opportunities, but to give you clarity on which ones carry covenant. You will feel the shift. Suddenly, things that used to drain you will lose their grip. Obligations that once felt heavy will begin to lift. And it won't be because you got stronger, it'll be because I removed what was out of season. A confusion wasn't from lack of vision, it was from lack of divine structure. And now I'm building it with you. One layer at a time. I'm organizing your time, your priorities, your assignments, your thoughts. I'm teaching you how to protect your peace without apology. I'm reminding you that stillness is not laziness, it's wisdom. That saying no isn't rebellion, it's obedience to a higher rhythm. I'm bringing divine order not just to what you do, but to how you think, how you rest, how you relate, how you pray. Because chaos may be familiar, but it's not holy. And where I dwell, peace rules. This kind of order won't always make sense to others. When you begin saying no to what you used to accommodate, some will be offended. When you set new boundaries, some will call you difficult. But you will know it's me because your spirit will breathe again. You won't dread what used to control you. You won't wake up already overwhelmed. You will stop living from fire to fire and start living from flow to flow. That's what divine order does. It doesn't just fix what's broken. It aligns what's sacred. And you are sacred to me. Your time, your energy, your soul, your call. I'm not just anointing your voice, I'm anointing your calendar. I'm not just directing your steps, I'm clearing the unnecessary ones. You'll begin to hear me clearer. You'll know which opportunities are distractions in disguise. You'll recognize when the urgency is from me or from man. You'll discern what sounds good from what is God. Because where order reigns, clarity flows. And when clarity flows, decisions no longer drain, they strengthen. You will no longer live in confusion, juggling the weight of roles that don't belong to you. You will walk in divine rhythm, trusting that every yes you give now has my wind behind it. No more scattered obedience. No more divided loyalties. No more stretching yourself thin just to be accepted. I am bringing holy order so you can run this race without stumbling under unnecessary burdens. Let me rearrange what you've carried for too long. Let me show you the difference between movement and momentum. Let me lift what you thought was yours to manage forever. I'm not just organizing your life, I'm breathing into it. And when divine order is set, divine power flows. You won't just feel lighter, you will become a force of focus. And that, my child, is where miracles begin. You've cried to me from deep wells of pain, from tight corners where answers felt out of reach, from places where hope flickered like a candle in wind. And I listened, I always listened. I caught every word, even the ones you couldn't say aloud. Your desperation was never a burden to me. It was a doorway. A space where you laid down pride and reached for me with nothing but honesty. I received those cries. I held those tears. But now, I am turning the page. The prayers you once whispered through trembling lips are being transformed. I am raising your voice not in panic, but in power. You are stepping out of begging and into boldness. You are no longer just pleading for relief, you are declaring what I've already promised. The tone of your prayers is changing because the position of your spirit is rising. You've learned to pray in the fire, and now I'm teaching you to pray from the throne. To stand, not shake. To decree, not doubt. To speak as one who knows my will and walks in alignment with it. You are my child, not my beggar. You are seated with me in heavenly places, not groveling outside the gate. And as this truth takes root, your words will shift. You'll begin to say things you didn't know you could say, not out of arrogance, but out of intimacy. You'll remind darkness of its defeat. You'll speak to mountains and expect movement. You'll rebuke the devourer without hesitation. Because your authority won't come from performance, it will flow from presence. This transition is subtle, but powerful. It won't always feel loud, but it will carry weight. You will pray out of panic and amour, but from a place of established peace. Even in the waiting, you'll speak differently. You won't keep asking if, you'll start declaring when. You won't rehearse the problem, you'll release the promise. And things will begin to shift, not just around you, but within you. Desperation made you cry out. Declaration will make you walk forward. Desperation kept you up at night. Declaration will let you sleep, knowing heaven is already moving. You're no longer just a warrior weary and worn, you are becoming a watchman, one who sees and speaks with authority, guarding the gates of what's been entrusted to you. And yes, this may stretch you. There will be moments where you're tempted to return to old patterns, where fear wants to creep back in, where uncertainty tempts your mouth to confess doubt. But I will help you. My spirit will remind you. My word will anchor you. You won't need to force faith, you will flow in it, because you've walked with me long enough to know I never lie. I never tease. I never send you into a battle without equipping you for the win. So speak, child. Speak what I've spoken. Echo heaven until the atmosphere around you has no choice but to respond. This isn't about pretending everything's fine, it's about standing firm even when things aren't. It's about refusing to align your language with fear. It's about recognizing that your tongue carries the blueprint of the kingdom. I created the world with words, and I've placed creative power in your mouth as well. Life and death, breakthrough and bondage, it's all in the sound. So open your mouth, not to plead for scraps, but to declare abundance. Not to panic about time, but to release timing into your season. Not to bed Virginia, but to call it forth. You've prayed long enough as one drowning, now pray as one who walks on the waves. You've cried as one in chains, now command like one set free. The same mouth that asked me for rescue is the one I now use to release my reign. You are not just speaking to survive anymore, you are speaking to build, to bless, to break barriers, to birth movements. This is what your voice was born for. Not just volume, but victory. Not just noise, but anointing. And as you declare, watch how the earth responds. Watch how the enemy flees. Watch how your atmosphere obeys. Because when a child of God speaks what heaven has written, nothing remains the same. You've walked cautiously for so long, bracing yourself for another collapse, another closed door, another unexpected shift that would make you start over once again. Each time you moved forward, you did so with your guard up, not from lack of faith but from the memory of what cracked beneath you before. You've been trying to trust while still trembling. You've been trying to believe while still bracing for loss. And I saw that, every step. I saw how you wanted to run but only had enough faith to crawl. I saw how your prayers sounded bold, but your heart still carried the residue of disappointment. And I didn't shame you for it, I sheltered you. I placed my hand under your foot every time it landed, even when you thought you were walking alone. You weren't walking, I was carrying you between each shaky step. And now, the ground is shifting, but not like before. It's time. It's not breaking. It's becoming firm. I am stabilizing what used to shake. I'm pouring strength beneath your feet. You will not need to tiptoe into this next season. You will not need to overthink every decision. You will not second-guess every yes. I am making you sure not just of your direction, but of your foundation. And this assurance won't be built on circumstances, it will be built on me. I am your steady place. I am the one who never changes, never weakens, never moves. Everything else might flex and falter, but I am your unshakable ground. And because you are standing in me, you can now move forward without anxiety. The hesitancy that once slowed you will be replaced with confidence, not arrogance, but peace-laced boldness that walks knowing, my God goes before me. You won't need to test every floorboard anymore. You won't feel the need to analyze every angle before you take action. What used to cause you to pause in fear will now become a place where your steps echo with authority. Because I'm not just guiding your path, I'm reinforcing it. There's a new sound coming with your movement. Not the sound of wandering, but the sound of walking. You will walk with clarity. You will walk with conviction. Your stride will not look rushed, but it will carry weight. People will notice the difference. They'll say you seem more rooted, more calm, more resolved. And they'll be right. Because the storm inside has finally met its stillness. His steadying isn't just for your benefit, it's for those following you. I've called you to lead, to influence, to carry others across what you once feared yourself. And they need to know what it looks like when someone walks sure-footed in grace. Not perfection, but peace. Not without pain, but without panic. I'm making your walk a message, your peace a platform. You will step into places that once caused you to shrink back, and now you will stand tall, not because the pressure is gone, but because my hand is upholding you. And even when the winds return, as they always do, you won't be shaken like before. You won't scramble for balance. You will remain planted, because you will remember, the ground beneath you is not man-made. It's me. I am your firm place. I am your solid footing. And I am not giving you temporary relief, I am giving you sustained security. This isn't just for today. It's for the journey ahead. You can build here. You can dream again here. You can plant your roots deep here. You don't need a backup plan, I am the plan. To walk, my child. Not anxiously. Not timidly. Walk with assurance that each step is ordered, each pace is protected. I made the ground ready for your arrival. I've cleared the hidden traps. I've smoothed the uneven places. And what once caused you to stumble will now support your strength. This is not false ground, it is fortified. And you, my beloved, are finally safe to walk forward. Eyes up, spirit open, without fear of falling. You've stood at doors that refused to open, poured into spaces that never responded, tried to step into circles where your presence was either ignored or misunderstood. It wasn't pride that made you knock, it was purpose. But the rejection cut deep. It made you question your value, your timing, even your calling. You looked at others being embraced in rooms you felt born for and quietly asked me, why not yet? And I heard that question, not as complaint, but as longing. Longing to be youthful. Longing to be in position. Longing to walk in the fullness of what I placed within you. And now, the resistance is breaking. Not because the world suddenly sees you differently, but because I have shifted the atmosphere around your assignment. What once resisted you is now responding. What once blocked you is now bowing to the sound of your obedience. It wasn't a denial, it was a delay for your protection. I couldn't allow you into places that would have drained your oil before you understood its value. I couldn't release you into environments that would have praised your gift, but starved your soul. So I allowed rejection to do what acceptance could not: preserve your purity. Every no that felt like a setback was actually me saying, not yet. I'm still building the foundation beneath your feet. Because I never create a moment without first preparing the messenger. And now, the time has come. The walls are coming down. The resistance that stood like a wall will become a witness to the weight of my favor on your life. You will walk into spaces that once felt cold, and they will open like a flower to light. Not because you forced them, but because I've gone ahead and touched the hearts inside. There will be invitations you never expected. People who once dismissed you will begin to ask for your insight. Rooms that once echoed with silence when you spoke will now fall still to listen. And you will know this is not about being liked. This is not about status. This is about me making space for the message you carry. Because it was never about you being accepted by people, it was about my word being released through your surrender. You are the vessel, the clarity, the sound, and what you carry is too costly to be wasted where it won't be honored. That's why the doors stayed shut until now. Not because you were unready, but because they were. And as you enter these spaces, don't enter with the need to prove anything. Don't carry old insecurity into new opportunity. The same voice that was valid in the valley is powerful at the table. You haven't changed for the room changed because I made it ready for you. Let humility lead you. Let gratitude guide you. But do not shrink back. Do not second guess your belonging. I placed you here with intention, not accident. And your presence will bring alignment, not noise. You are not a guess, you are an answer. Not an intruder, but anointed. And everything about you, your voice, your story, your pain, your process is being used in full measure now. Even the places that once intimidated you will feel different. Because you're no longer entering as someone hoping to be chosen, you are walking in as someone who knows they were already sent. That shift will change your posture. You will no longer tiptoe. You will carry peace into rooms that have long wrestled with confusion. You'll carry clarity into meetings full of chaos. You'll bring focus where there's been noise. Because you are not carrying ambition, you are carrying assignment. And assignment doesn't beg for room, it commands it without striving. So watch as I go before you. Watch as I make even hard hearts soften. Watch as I cause the land that once rejected you to yield its fruit. You're not forcing your way in, I'm making space. And when the moment comes, you won't need to perform. Just be. Just show up with your heart steady and your spirit yielded. The resistance has served its purpose. Now the room is ready, and so are you. You've been walking through a season where some answers have remained just out of reach. You've prayed, researched, reflected, and even fasted, trying to make sense of what's been in front of you. You've asked me for understanding, not for the sake of control, but so you could move forward without confusion. And I've watched you wrestle with decisions that seem layered with too many possibilities, each one fogged by uncertainty. You've been faithful with what you do know, even when what you don't has weighed heavy on your heart. But now, I'm opening your understanding, not gradually, but suddenly. I'm dropping revelation into your spirit that will slice through the fog like a sword through the veil. What didn't make sense for months will now click in a moment. What seemed like puzzle pieces from different boxes will subtly lock together. This insight is not coming from intellect, it's coming from intimacy. It's being born out of the time you've spent with me, not the time you've spent analyzing the situation. I'm honoring your posture of humility by giving you a perspective not everyone will be able to access. Because clarity is not earned, it is entrusted. And I'm entrusting you with vision that transcends logic. You'll begin to notice it in the simplest moments, while walking, while worshiping, while doing something unrelated. A thought will flash into your mind, but it won't be random. It will be my answer, my strategy, my response. It won't come with chaos, it will come with peace so deep it silences every other voice. You'll find yourself knowing what to do without needing a committee to confirm it. Not out of pride, but because my spirit has become louder than your fear. You will walk into rooms and discern the atmosphere without a word being spoken. You'll look at documents, schedules, relationships, and suddenly see what's out of order and how to bring it back into alignment. This is not natural intelligence, it's divine wisdom. It's not just so you can understand the situation, it's so you can speak with authority into it. I'm not just giving you answers. I'm giving you language. You'll speak solutions others haven't even seen yet. You'll present ideas that untangle years of confusion. And when people ask, "How did you see that?" your only answer will be, "The Lord showed me." This level of insight is a stewardship. It's meant to serve, not to control. It's meant to build others up, not to elevate yourself. Use it with reverence. Use it with restraint. Not everything I show you is meant to be shared immediately. Some things are meant to be held in your spirit until the timing matches the truth. But when I say speak, Don't hesitate. When I reveal, don't downplay it. You're not guessing anymore. You're not feeling around in the dark anymore. You're receiving divine understanding, and it will set things into motion. Not just for you, but for those connected to you. This insight will unlock strategies, partnerships, resources, and breakthroughs. And it won't exhaust you, it will energize you. Because revelation always brings renewal. Don't second-guess this clarity when it comes. Don't talk yourself out of it because it feels too simple. My ways often appear simple because they are pure, but don't mistake purity for naivety. What I reveal is sharper than any sword, deeper than any well, and the simplicity of it will be your confirmation. You won't need to twist it to make it fit. You won't need to fight to make others understand. My wisdom is coming with weight, and those who are listening will recognize it. They'll respond, not just to your words, but to the presence resting on them. You waited long enough. You've wandered long enough. And now it's time to walk in understanding. Not borrowed understanding. Not shallow insight. But deep wells of revelation that make crooked paths straight and dark corners bright. I am not a God of confusion, I am the source of all clarity. And I am releasing it to you now, not just so you can see, but so you can lead. The fog is lifting. The pieces are aligning. The answers are arriving. Walk forward, not wondering but knowing. You finally see it now. There are seasons ahead where the ground beneath you will feel uncertain. The path will narrow, the challenges will heighten, and the pressure to retreat will be real. You might be tempted to question if the cost of obedience is too high, if the sacrifices you're making are worth the outcome you can't yet see. But this moment is not designed to break you, it is designed to build you. The test is a sign that you are nearing breakthrough, not failure. I do not bring you to trials to abandon you in them, I bring you there to reveal the strength I've placed inside you. When your faith is tested, it is not shaken, it is sharpened. You are not alone in these moments, I am walking beside you, reinforcing your spirit with my presence, and equipping your heart with my peace. These tests are not punishments. They are invitations into deeper trust, greater maturity, and a revelation of the fullness of my power. When the pressure rises, your perspective must rise with it. You must remember that the same God who called you is the one who sustains you. You are not being prepared for a battle you cannot win, I have already secured your victory. The testing is simply the proving ground where your faith becomes visible, your character becomes known, and your destiny becomes undeniable. In the moments when you feel weakest, I am strongest in you. When you think you can't take another step, I am the one who carries you forward. So do not fear the trial. Do not dread the storm. It is shaping you for the greater purpose ahead. The enemy wants to use testing to discourage you, to make you doubt, to push you off course. But I am transforming every obstacle into an opportunity for my glory to be revealed through you. The trial will produce perseverance. Perseverance will produce character. Character will produce hope that does not disappoint. This is not a cycle of suffering, it is a cycle of sanctification. And you are being sanctified for a destiny that requires more than ordinary faith. You are being prepared to carry a mantle heavier than you imagined. But I am laying the foundation in your heart now. You will look back on these moments with gratitude, not regret, because you will see how they propelled you into the purpose you once prayed for. I will not let the testing overwhelm you. I will not allow the pressure to consume you. I will surround you with peace that surpasses understanding, with joy that is your strength, and with wisdom that guides every decision. The victories that emerge from these times will not just be yours, they will inspire others who are still struggling. You will become a living testimony that faith in the fire produces fruit that lasts. When you feel like giving up, remember I am giving you strength. When you feel like you are alone, remember I am walking with you. When you feel like the trial is too much, remember the outcome is too great to miss. So embrace the test with courage, knowing you are more than a conqueror through me. The road ahead is not easy, but it is worth every step. The victory I have planned for you will be a testament to my faithfulness and your obedience. Hold fast to me, Keep your eyes on my promises, and trust that I am working all things together for your good. Your faith will not be in vain. Your victory is guaranteed. Walk boldly, for I have already won the battle for you. For too long, you've felt bound by invisible chains, patterns that repeat, fears that paralyze, doubts that whisper lies about your worth and your future. Those chains were not meant for you to carry, yet they weighed heavy on your soul, slowing your steps and dimming your light. But I am the God who breaks every chain, who shatters every yoke, and who sets the captives free. I have heard your cries for freedom. I have seen the tears shed in silence. And now, I am releasing you from every bondage that has tried to claim you as its prisoner. The walls that enclose you will fall. The prison doors that seemed locked tight will swing open wide. This freedom will not come with a sound of struggle or strife. It will come with a peace that passes all understanding. It will come like a breath of fresh air after a long winter. You will feel it deep within your spirit, a lightness, a joy, a release that no one can take away. The enemy may try to convince you that the chains are too strong, that the scars are too deep, that the past is too heavy to escape. But those lies will be exposed for what they are: falsehoods designed to keep you from stepping into your destiny. I am here to tell you, you are free. You are not defined by what held you. You are defined by who set you free. As you walk forward, you will notice the change not just in your circumstances, but in your spirit. Fear will lose its grip. Anxiety will loosen its hold. The weight of guilt and shame will lift, replaced by the garment of praise and the mantle of victory. Your steps will no longer be cautious and hesitant. They will be bold and confident, marked by the assurance that comes from knowing you are no longer bound. You will run your race with endurance, not because of your strength, but because of mine working in you. I have broken your chains so you can run free, so you can soar higher than you ever imagined. Others will marvel at your transformation. They will ask how you found the courage to leave the past behind. They will want to know the secret to your peace. And you will tell them it is the freedom I gave you, a freedom that can only come from me. You will become a beacon of hope for those still trapped, a living testimony that chains are meant to be broken, and that freedom is not just a dream but a reality available to all who seek me. Your story will inspire others to believe that no matter how deep the bondage, my power is deeper still. Remember, freedom is not just the absence of chains, it is the presence of my spirit within you. It is the ability to walk in purpose without fear, to love without reservation, to live without regret. And I am equipping you with everything you need to maintain this freedom. I will guard your heart and mind. I will remind you of your identity. I will strengthen you when temptation tries to return. You are not alone in this journey. You have me as your constant companion, your protector, your guide. So embrace this new season with open arms. Walk boldly into the life I have prepared for you. Leave behind every chain that sought to limit you. Run with joy, knowing that you are free, completely and eternally free. This is your time to shine, to rise, and to live as the victorious child I created you to be. Freedom is your inheritance. Walk in it daily, and watch how your life becomes a testimony of my grace and power. There has been a spark inside you, sometimes faint, sometimes flickering, an ember of purpose and passion that the world tried to smother. You faced discouragements, setbacks, and moments when that flame felt on the verge of dying out. But I have been guarding that fire, protecting it through the storms and seasons of silence. I'm not just rekindling it, I'm igniting a blaze that will burn brighter than ever before. This fire is not for destruction, but for illumination. It will light your path and draw others to warmth and hope. It is a fire fueled by my spirit, one that no amount of rain, wind, or opposition can quench. You will find yourself filled with renewed zeal, a relentless energy that drives you forward when others grow weary. This fire will inspire courage in your heart to face challenges that once made you retreat. It will empower your voice to speak truths that shake strongholds. You will no longer be content with lukewarm faith or partial obedience. This fire demands all of you, and it gives all of me in return. It is a divine flame that purifies your motives, clarifies your vision, and strengthens your resolve. As this fire grows, it will attract those who hunger for authenticity and passion. You will become a beacon to those who have lost their way or who have settled for less than God's best. The light you carry will pierce through darkness, exposing lies and revealing truth. Your life will become a testimony of transformation, a living altar where the fire of God consumes the old and ushers in the new. This fire is also a source of warmth and comfort. In moments of solitude, when the world seems cold and distant, you will feel my presence like a hearth beside you. It will remind you that you are never alone, that I am always with you, fanning the flame that sustains your spirit. And in this fire, you will find joy that cannot be stolen, peace that surpasses understanding, and hope that refuses to be extinguished. But know this, fire requires tending. You must guard your heart against distractions that try to dull this flame. You must feed it with my word, prayer, and worship. You must protect it from the winds of doubt and the storms of fear. When you do, this fire will not only consume the obstacles before you, it will consume every doubt within you. Others will ask you where your strength comes from. You will tell them it is the fire of God, a sacred flame ignited in the depths of your soul and kept alive by my unending love. And they will see it not just in your words but in your actions, your courage, and your unwavering faith. So step boldly into this new season, my child. Let the fire within you burn fiercely. Let it light your way and illuminate the paths of those around you. This fire is a gift, a sign of my presence and my purpose in your life. It is a call to move forward with passion, power, and perseverance. Walk in the heat of this holy fire and watch as mountains move, chains break, and lives are transformed by the blaze you carry. You were made for this moment. You were created to burn bright. And I am with you, igniting you now for the greatest things yet to come. You have carried burdens that were heavy, responsibilities that seemed beyond your strength, and expectations that pressed on your spirit. There were times when you wondered if your hands would grow tired, if your resolve would weaken, or if the load would cause you to falter. Yet, through every moment of weariness, I have been building your endurance. Your hands, though weary at times, are being strengthened for what lies ahead, not just to bear the load, but to transform it. You will carry your calling with a grace that confounds the world and honors me. This grace will be visible not in ease, but in perseverance and dignity. Others will see you struggle, but they will also see you stand. They will witness your ability to hold on when others would let go. And they will be drawn not just to your strength, but to the source of your strength. I am not giving you this grace to make you invincible, but to make you resilient, to teach you to lean on me when your own strength runs out. I will be your refuge when you feel weak, your strength when your hands tremble. I am preparing you not for comfort, but for endurance, not for but for excellence. The hands I've given you will not only bear burdens, they will build. They will sow seeds, mend wounds, and lay foundations. You are being equipped to handle not just the weight of your assignment, but the weight of those you are called to serve. Your hands will become instruments of healing and restoration. When the load feels heavy, remember I am holding you. When the path seems long, remember I am guiding you. When doubt tries to whisper, remember my strength is made perfect in your weakness. You don't carry this alone. I am with you every step of the way. Your hands will not fail you, because I am the one who sustains them. This grace will also teach you when to rest and when to work. It will guide you in discernment, helping you know when to lift the load and when to lay it down at my feet. You will learn the rhythm of endurance, balancing action with rest, effort with surrender. This balance will preserve you and extend your impact. You will no longer run on empty or push beyond the limits I have set for you. Instead, you will walk in alignment with my provision, trusting that what I ask, I will also supply. Others will be inspired by your faithfulness. They will see that it is possible to carry heavy burdens without being crushed. Your life will testify that grace is not just a concept, it is a power that enables you to fulfill your destiny. You will become a model of perseverance and a source of encouragement to those who feel overwhelmed by their own assignments. So embrace this strengthening. Allow my grace to fortify your hands and your heart. Use them to build, to heal, to serve, and to bless. Know that every ounce of effort is being multiplied in ways you cannot see. I am with you, equipping you to carry what I have called you to carry. You are not alone. Your hands are strong because mine hold them. And together, we will accomplish the purpose I have placed before you. You've carried wounds that seem too deep to heal, scars etched by betrayal, failure, and loss. At times, you might have thought these marks would define you forever, shaping you into someone broken beyond repair. But my child, I want you to know that your brokenness is not your end, it is the canvas on which I paint my masterpiece. I am unveiling a beauty that only comes from a heart that has been refined by fire and softened by grace. The very places that hurt the most will become the places that shine the brightest, because I am turning your pain into purpose, your scars into strength. The world often sees brokenness as weakness, but in my kingdom, brokenness is a doorway. It's where I meet you face to face, where humility becomes your greatest strength, and where reliance on me grows deepest. Every crack in your heart is a channel for my light to pour through. Every tear you've shed is watering seeds that will blossom into fruit far sweeter than you imagined. The beauty I am revealing in you is not superficial, it is profound, resilient, and radiant. It speaks of redemption, restoration, and the power of my love to transform even the darkest moments into testimonies of hope. You may still feel fragile sometimes. You may still carry fears about what the future holds. But know this, I'm making you whole, piece by piece, day by day. Your brokenness does not disqualify you, it qualifies you. It has prepared you to minister to others who are hurting, to lead with empathy, and to shine with a light that comes from having walked through the valley. You are becoming a beacon for those still trapped in despair, a living example that beauty is not only in perfection, but in perseverance. This unveiling will not always be immediate. Some days, the old pain will resurface to remind you how far you've come. Some nights, you'll wonder if the healing is complete. But trust me, the process is sacred, and the timeline is divine. I am not rushing the work. I am crafting a beauty that lasts. And when you look back, you will see that every broken piece was necessary. It was part of my design to bring forth the fullness of who you are. Others will be drawn to your story not because it is flawless, but because it is real. They will see the strength that comes from vulnerability, the courage born from scars, and the hope rising from despair. Your testimony will resonate because it is authentic, live, and victorious. You will inspire others to believe that no matter how broken they feel, there is a path to beauty, and it begins with surrendering to my love. So walk forward with confidence, knowing that your brokenness is not a burden but a blessing. Let me continue to unveil the beauty within you, so that your life becomes a testament to the transforming power of grace. Your scars are not shame, they are symbols of my saving power. And through them, I am making you radiant. You have sung many songs, some filled with joy, others soaked in sorrow. There were melodies that expressed your faith, harmonies that carried your prayers, and sometimes notes of despair when your spirit felt too heavy to sing. I have heard every song, every whisper of your heart. And now, I am composing a new song within you, one that will resonate beyond your past pains and present struggles. This song is not just for you, it is a gift to those around you. It will inspire hearts that have grown weary, awaken hope that has been buried, and create an atmosphere where my presence flows freely. This new song will be unlike any you've sung before. It will be born from the depths of your journey, the victories and the valleys, the learning and the letting go. It will carry the wisdom gained from trials, the peace found in surrender, and the joy that rises from overcoming. You will find that when you sing this song, whether aloud or in the quiet places of your spirit, it will bring comfort to the broken, courage to the faint-hearted, and strength to the weak. Your voice, once hesitant and uncertain, will now carry authority and anointing because it is filled with my spirit. Others will be drawn to this song. They may not understand all the lyrics, but they will feel its power. They will be moved by the authenticity of your worship, the passion in your praise, and the truth in your testimony. Your song will be a balm to the hurting and a beacon to those searching for light. It will cross barriers and break down walls because it is a melody crafted by heaven, released through a surrendered heart. I am also using this song to retune your spirit. You will find new rhythms that align with my heartbeat, new tempos that match my timing, and new harmonies that blend your purpose with my plan. This song will help you navigate future challenges with grace and confidence. When doubts arise, the melody will remind you of my faithfulness. When fears attempt to silence you, the chorus will lift your courage. When loneliness creeps in, the harmony will assure you that you are never alone. This song is more than music, it is a declaration that you are alive, chosen, and called. A declaration that no matter the storms you face, your spirit will continue to sing. A declaration that my love endures and that your life is a testimony of that love. And as you continue to sing, you will release chains, heal wounds, and bring revival wherever you go. You must nurture this song. Feed it with prayer, cultivate it with praise, and protect it with obedience. Don't allow the noise of the world to drown out its melody. When you feel the song fading, come back to me. I will restore its power and renew its fire. Because this song is sacred, is a divine gift entrusted to you. And when you sing it fully and freely, you participate in my kingdom's expansion. So embrace this new song, my child. Let it rise from your soul like incense before me. Let it fill the air around you with hope and healing. Let it carry the sound of heaven to earth. This is your anthem, a song of victory, a song of life, a song that will never end. There are seasons ahead where the ground beneath you will feel uncertain. The path will narrow, the challenges will heighten, and the pressure to retreat will be real. You might be tempted to question if the cost of obedience is too high, if the sacrifices you're making are worth the outcome you can't yet see. But this moment is not designed to break you, it is designed to build you. The test is a sign that you are nearing breakthrough, not failure. I do not bring you to trials to abandon you in them, I bring you there to reveal the strength I've placed inside you. When your faith is tested, it is not shaken, it is sharpened. You are not alone in these moments, I am walking beside you, reinforcing your spirit with my presence, and equipping your heart with my peace. These tests are not punishments. They are invitations into deeper trust, greater maturity, and a revelation of the fullness of my power. When the pressure rises, your perspective must rise with it. You must remember that the same God who called you is the one who sustains you. You are not being prepared for a battle you cannot win, I have already secured your victory. The testing is simply the proving ground where your faith becomes visible, your character becomes known, and your destiny becomes undeniable. In the moments when you feel weakest, I am strongest in you. When you think you can't take another step, I am the one who carries you forward. So do not fear the trial. Do not dread the storm. It is shaping you for the greater purpose ahead. The enemy wants to use testing to discourage you, to make you doubt, to push you off course. But I am transforming every obstacle into an opportunity for my glory to be revealed through you. The trial will produce perseverance. Perseverance will produce character. Character will produce hope that does not disappoint. This is not a cycle of suffering, it is a cycle of sanctification. And you are being sanctified for a destiny that requires more than ordinary faith. You are being prepared to carry a mantle heavier than you imagined. But I am laying the foundation in your heart now. You will look back on these moments with gratitude, not regret, because you will see how they propelled you into the purpose you once prayed for. I will not let the testing overwhelm you. I will not allow the pressure to consume you. I will surround you with peace that surpasses understanding, with joy that is your strength, and with wisdom that guides every decision. The victories that emerge from these times will not just be yours, they will inspire others who are still struggling. You will become a living testimony that faith in the fire produces fruit that lasts. When you feel like giving up, remember I am giving you strength. When you feel like you are alone, remember I am walking with you. When you feel like the trial is too much, remember the outcome is too great to miss. So embrace the test with courage, knowing you are more than a conqueror through me. The road ahead is not easy, but it is worth every step. The victory I have planned for you will be a testament to my faithfulness and your obedience. Hold fast to me, keep your eyes on my promises, and trust that I am working all things together for your good. Your faith will not be in vain. Your victory is guaranteed. Walk boldly, for I have already won the battle for you. There have been seasons when your heart felt heavy, when laughter seemed distant and happiness was overshadowed by trials and tears. You have endured disappointments, losses, and setbacks that tried to steal your joy, leaving you to wonder if the lightness of spirit you once knew would ever return. But my child, I want you to know that I have not forgotten your joy. I am not only a God of restoration, but also of abundant life, and I am committed to returning the joy that was stolen from you. This restoration is not a temporary fix, it is a deep healing that will fill your soul with a fullness that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Joy is not dependent on external conditions. It is a fruit of my spirit living within you. Even in the darkest valleys, my joy can be your strength and your song. I have been preparing a new season where your heart will overflow with gladness, where your spirit will dance freely, and where your laughter will be genuine and unrestrained. The heaviness that weighed you down will be lifted, replaced by a lightness that radiates peace and hope. You will rediscover delight in the simple things, marvel at the wonders around you, and rejoice in the goodness that surrounds your life. This restoration of joy will also transform your perspective. Where you once saw obstacles, you will see opportunities. Where you once felt defeated, you will feel empowered. The bitterness of past pain will give way to sweetness of new beginnings. Your joy will become a testimony to others who have struggled, showing them that no matter how hard life has been, joy can be reclaimed and renewed. You will become a living example of hope and restoration, encouraging others to believe that joy is possible even after great loss. When joy returns, it will also empower your worship and your service. You will serve not out of obligation or duty, but from a heart full of gladness. Your praise will be sincere and powerful, drawing my presence and blessing into every area of your life. This joy will strengthen your faith, energize your spirit, and renew your commitment to the path I have set before you. You will find renewed passion for the things of God and a fresh desire to walk in my ways. Remember that joy is not just an emotion. It is a choice to trust me, to focus on my goodness, and to embrace my promises. Even when challenges arise, you can choose joy because it is rooted in me. You are not alone in this restoration. I am with you every step of the way, filling you with peace and strength. As you walk in joy, you will be a beacon of light to those around you, drawing others to the hope and love that only I can provide. So rejoice, my beloved. Rejoice with all your heart, soul, and strength. Let the joy of the Lord be your strength and your song. You are restored, renewed, and rejoicing in the abundant life I have prepared for you. The joy that was once stolen is now returned greater, fuller, and eternal. You have longed for partnership, support, and fellowship that aligns with your calling. The loneliness of walking your path has sometimes weighed heavily on your spirit. You've sought encouragement in places that left you feeling isolated or misunderstood. But I have been at work behind the scenes, weaving together relationships and alliances that will propel you forward. These divine connections are not coincidences, they are intentional placements crafted by my hand. Each person I bring into your life has a specific role in your journey, equipped with gifts and resources that complement your mission. When you step into the season ahead, you will begin to notice doors opening because of these relationships. Your path will be illuminated not just by your steps, but by those walking alongside you. These connections will challenge you to grow, support you in trials, and celebrate your victories with genuine hearts. They will not be distractions or burdens, but divine appointments that enhance your influence. You will find that what you once struggled to achieve alone will now be accomplished in unity and collaboration. This acceleration through partnership is part of the new season I am releasing over your life. I am bringing people who will inspire innovation, ignite creativity, and provide wisdom beyond your current understanding. Trust in the process of connection, even when it doesn't look like what you expected. Sometimes, I place you with those who seem different, unconventional, or unexpected, because together you will create something greater than the sum of your parts. Embrace these relationships with humility and openness, recognizing that each one is a gift designed to equip you for the next phase. Guard your heart against fear or jealousy, and instead celebrate the diversity and strength found in these divine alliances. Remember that connection is a two-way street. As you receive support and encouragement, be ready to give generously of yourself. Your testimony, your gifts, and your faith will be a blessing to those I send to you. Together, you will move mountains, break barriers, and expand the reach of my kingdom. Your combined impact will be a powerful witness to the transforming power of unity and divine collaboration. As these connections multiply, so will opportunities. Invitations will come through unexpected channels. Projects will launch with greater momentum, and your influence will extend into new territories. You will discover that walking in partnership not only lightens your load but amplifies your voice. The enemy has tried to isolate you, but I am surrounding you with a strong, supportive community that will stand with you through every challenge. So open your eyes and your heart to the people I am sending. Seek my guidance in cultivating these relationships and be faithful in nurturing them. The acceleration you desire is tied to the connections you cultivate. Your journey is not solitary. I am bringing the right people to walk it with you. Together, you will accomplish what could never be done alone. For too long, your mind has been clouded with questions and uncertainties, making it difficult to discern the right path or the next step. You've wrestled with conflicting advice, mixed signals, and your own fears that whisper, "What if you're wrong?" I see your struggle, and I am not surprised by it. The enemy loves to sow confusion because it paralyzes progress and steals peace. But now, I am stepping in to clear the fog that has settled over your thoughts. I am releasing clarity, a sharp, divine insight that will cut through the noise and bring your vision into focus. This clarity will not be vague or fleeting. It will be steady and sure, guiding you like a light on a dark path. You will begin to understand situations that once baffled you. Decisions that felt overwhelming will become simple. The next steps will be clear, not because everything will be easy, but because you will know you are walking in my will. This clarity will free you from the burden of second-guessing, and you will move with confidence and purpose. The days of hesitation are ending. The seasons of doubt are dissolving. You will no longer be tossed by every opinion or swayed by every new idea. Instead, you will stand firm, anchored in the sure knowledge that I am leading you. This clarity will also bring peace. When you know the path I have set before you, your heart will rest in my guidance. Anxiety will diminish because you will no longer be trying to figure everything out on your own. You will trust that I am working all things together for your good. Your spirit will be calmed, and your mind renewed. And with peace will come strength to face challenges without fear, knowing you are not walking blind. Others will notice the change in you. They will see a new steadiness in your decisions, a calm assurance in your actions, and a clear vision that inspires trust. They will come to you for counsel and wisdom because I am making you a source of understanding in places of confusion. Your clarity will not only help you but will become a blessing to those around you. You will be a light in the midst of uncertainty for others who are still seeking direction. As you receive this clarity, guard it well. Protect your mind from returning to old patterns of doubt and fear. Feed it with my word, quiet your heart in prayer, and surround yourself with those who encourage faith over fear. Clarity requires nurturing. It grows stronger when you actively seek my presence and listen for my voice. When you do this, the clarity I give will become a guiding force that shapes your life and your destiny. So embrace this new season of clear understanding. Step forward with boldness, knowing you are walking in my purpose. The confusion that once held you captive is being replaced with a divine revelation. Your path is being made straight. Your next move is being illuminated, Trust in me, and watch how the clarity I give will open doors, change circumstances, and lead you into the fulfillment of all I have promised. In a world that moves quickly, where instant gratification is expected, you've been tested by delay and waiting. Seasons of waiting can feel like wilderness, dry, barren, and lonely, where every day stretches endlessly and hope seems fragile. But my child, I have been cultivating in you a patience that is not passive or resigned, but active and powerful. This patience is a gift from me, a fruit of the Spirit that strengthens you even when the road seems long. It empowers you to endure the wait without losing faith, to persevere without giving up, and to trust me even when you don't understand my timing. This patience is not simply about waiting, it's about waiting well. It's about holding your peace even when answers are delayed, keeping your worship even when breakthrough hasn't come, and maintaining your focus even when the journey is difficult. This kind of patience produces character, refines your faith, and deepens your intimacy with me. It is the steady heartbeat that keeps you aligned with my purpose, regardless of the external circumstances. As this patience grows in you, you will find yourself able to withstand trials without being overwhelmed, to stay hopeful without being anxious, and to remain joyful without being distracted. Others will see this patience in you. They will notice your calm in the storm, your peace in the pause, and your trust when others are frantic. Your life will be a testimony to the power of waiting well. You will become a source of encouragement for those who are struggling with their own seasons of delay. Your example will inspire them to persevere, knowing that waiting is not wasted time but a vital part of the process. The strength you demonstrate through patience will speak louder than any words, and will open doors for you that haste could never unlock. This patience is also a weapon against the enemy's schemes. He seeks to use impatience to cause you to make reckless decisions, lose your peace, or abandon your calling. But with this patience, you will be equipped to resist temptation, to stay focused on me, and to move forward only when I lead. You will learn to discern between urgency and my timing, between pressure and my peace. Your spirit will be anchored in my promises, unshaken by the delays or detours. To nurture this patience, remain in my presence daily. Feed your spirit with my word, prayer, and worship. Guard your heart against doubt and despair. Remember that I am never late, and that every delay is filled with purpose. Trust that I am working all things together for your good, even when you can't see the outcome. Lean into the strength I provide, and let patience become a hallmark of your faith. So embrace this season of waiting with hope and confidence. Let patience shape your journey, not wear you down. You are being prepared for greater things, and the time you spend waiting is not lost, it is the foundation for your breakthrough. Walk forward in patience, and watch how I turn your waiting into worship and your delay into destiny. The enemy has tried to deceive you with whispers of inadequacy, failure, and doubt. He has attempted to convince you that you are not enough, that your mistakes define you, and that your dreams are too far out of reach. But I am the God of truth, the one who sets captives free from every deception. I am empowering you now to rise above the lies that have held you captive. The lies that once caused you to stumble will no longer have power over you. You will stand firm in my truth, unshaken and unwavering. The foundation of your identity is not in what you have done or what others say about you, it is in who I say you are. Beloved, chosen, victorious. This empowerment will give you clarity to discern truth from falsehood. You will no longer be swayed by every opinion or shaken by every challenge. The lies that once clouded your mind will be exposed and defeated. You will learn to recognize the voice of the enemy and reject it immediately. Your mind will be renewed daily by my word, which is the sword that cuts through deception. As you walk in truth, your confidence will grow not because of your own strength, but because of my presence living within you. You will know who you are in me and refuse to accept anything less. Others will notice this transformation. They will see a new boldness in your steps, a peace in your countenance, and a wisdom in your words. You will become a beacon of truth in a world full of confusion and lies. Your life will testify that truth sets free and that faith in me is the foundation of unshakable identity. People will come to you seeking counsel and encouragement because you carry the light of truth. You will help others break free from the chains of deception that bind them. This empowerment is also protection. The enemy will continue to try to deceive, but you will be equipped to stand firm. Your spirit will be fortified against every attack. You will walk with the confidence that comes from knowing you are rooted in truth. You will no longer fall victim to fear, anxiety, or insecurity. Instead, you will be anchored in the reality of my love and power. This is your season to walk boldly, to speak confidently, and to live victoriously. To maintain this empowerment, stay connected to me through prayer and scripture. Surround yourself with those who encourage and uplift you in truth. Guard your heart against negativity and doubt. Remember that you are not alone. I am with you always, guiding you into all truth. Trust in my promises and let them shape your identity. So rise up, my beloved child. Walk in the freedom and power of truth. Reject every lie that tries to steal your joy and your purpose. Stand firm in who I have made you to be. Your empowerment is assured, your victory is certain, and your future is bright. You are more than a conqueror because I am your God. There are battles you have faced that seemed endless, struggles that felt like they would never break, and moments when defeat appeared inevitable. But my beloved, I want you to understand that the victory over those battles was won long before you ever stepped onto the field. The unseen warfare, the spiritual battle that rages beyond human sight, has already been settled in your favor. I am now opening your eyes to see what you couldn't before, the triumph that is already yours. What you perceived as loss, I perceived as preparation. What you thought was defeat, I declared as a step toward your destiny. Your faith will begin to shift as your eyes are opened to recognize that the war is over and the victory is secure. This revelation will change how you walk. You will no longer carry the weight of uncertainty, worry, or fear. Instead, you will move with confidence, knowing that the outcome is decided. The enemy's plans have been dismantled, his schemes exposed, and his power broken over your life. You will see the evidence of this victory in circumstances that once seemed impossible to change, doors opening, relationships restored, breakthroughs occurring. This is not luck or coincidence. This is my divine intervention, my promise fulfilled. You are standing on holy ground, walking in the authority of one who has already been declared victorious. Others will begin to notice the change in you as well. Your peace will be unmistakable. Your joy will be contagious. Your confidence will inspire those around you. People who once doubted or discouraged you will be amazed at the transformation. You will become a living testimony that faith in me secures victory even before the battle is fought. Your story will encourage others to trust in my power and to believe that their own victories are already won, even if they cannot yet see them. As your eyes open to this truth, guard your heart against returning to old fears or doubts. Keep your focus on my word, which is truth and light. Let my spirit guide you into all understanding. When challenges arise, remind yourself that you are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from victory. This perspective will sustain you in difficult times and give you strength to persevere. So walk forward with assurance, my child. The victory belongs to you because it belongs to me. I have fought your battles. I have conquered your enemies. Now, I am inviting you to live in the freedom and power of this truth. Your eyes will be opened to see beyond what is natural, and your heart will rest in the certainty of my triumph. Step boldly into this revelation and watch how your life is transformed as you live out the victory I have already won for you. The journey you have been on, with its trials and triumphs, its moments of doubt and bursts of faith, has been preparing you for this very moment. You are standing on the edge of the promise I placed in your heart long ago, a destiny uniquely crafted for you, filled with purpose, power, and glory. The time has come to stop waiting in the shadows and step into the light I have prepared. I am calling you now, not to hesitate, not to look back, but to rise up with courage and confidence. This is your appointed time to walk boldly into all that I have designed for your life. The path ahead may not be easy. There will be challenges and opposition, as there always are in any journey worth taking. But I have equipped you with every tool, every strength, and every grace needed to overcome. You will not walk alone. I am with you, before you, beside you, and within you. My spirit is your guide, my word is your sword, and my love is your shield. With me, you are more than a conqueror. Nothing can stand against you when you walk in my authority. You may feel fear or uncertainty trying to hold you back. Those feelings are natural, but do not let them dictate your steps. Remember that faith is not the absence of fear, but the decision to trust me despite it. When you take that step forward, you release the chains of hesitation and activate the blessings I have stored up for you. Your obedience unlocks doors that have been waiting for your arrival. Your willingness to rise shifts atmospheres and changes destinies, not just yours, but of those around you. Others will look at your journey and see inspiration. They will see someone who refused to give up, who kept believing even when the road was rough. Your story will ignite hope in the hearts of those who feel weary and lost. You will become a living testimony of my faithfulness and power. The impact of your obedience will ripple far beyond what you can imagine. Your life is a beacon that draws others into the light of my presence. So rise, my beloved. Shake off the doubts and the fears. Stand tall in the truth of who you are in me. I have chosen you, called you, and prepared you. Your destiny awaits, and it is glorious. Walk forward with boldness, knowing that the victory is already yours. The future is bright because I am with you every step of the way. The journey continues not as one who wanders aimlessly, but as one who walks confidently, empowered by my spirit and secured by my promises. You are ready. You are equipped. Now rise and claim what I have prepared for you. Amen.